What's going on, everybody? It's Thursday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You're on YouTube. You're on Twitch. You may be listening to us post-mortem in your podcast. Yeah, post-mortem.
We
dying, bitch?
We're in the afterlife,
I mean,
baby.
depending on how this show goes, you know, this is going to be a Sony heavy show. So some of us may die inside a little bit. Who knows? But it's going to be a show, and that means that it's a pre-patch podcast. What is going on, everybody? I am sitting here with Enigma, Bill, and Scruffy. Shout outs to Tony. Hopefully you're feeling better. He's unfortunately did not feel too great leading up to the show. So he decided to sit this one out. But you got the OG crew here. So what's going on, everybody?
Yeah, the OG.
Do you think we can commission,
baby.
Do you think we can commission to get 10:30 p.m. Eastern to add an extra P to it? 10:30 p.m. Eastern.
Absolutely. I think so. Why
Sure.
not?
I think we can always put another
I mean, I think we should get a honest to God,
Yes,
that should be on the
Eastern.
ballot right now. Like, it's voting. Like, fuck going to vote for the presidency. Like, who gives a shit about that? That's all rigged. It doesn't
Right.
matter anyway. It's a fucking, your votes don't count. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, by the way. Holy crap.
Pre-patch podcast for presidency.
I am very much
We
kidding.
should
Go out and vote. You should go vote. 1,000% go vote.
vote for
but-
the pre-patch podcast.
But yes, that should be on the ballot about being the pre-patch podcast. We should just change, like, get rid of time zones. It's just all based on pre-patch time zone.
Yeah,
That works.
is.
I'm down for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I like that.
except
It's
we all
always
live in
pre-patch
different
time.
fucking time
Always
zones.
PP time.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us
Yeah.
are actually in the same. Well, no,
Well,
me and
we
Bill. I
won't
think are now.
until it
No,
switches
Scruff
over.
is too.
No, Scruff
Yeah.
lives in Ohio. Ohio.
I live
that
in
is
Ohio.
Oh,
Yeah,
you.
wait,
That's
what?
right. You both are fucking from Ohio. That's Ohio skibbity, bro. Y'all got no riz.
We take it over.
You got no riz. You guys are eating cats and dogs and shit up there. At least that's what I heard on
Hey,
TV.
we're
That's what
very
the
What do you
Simpsons.
mean?
skibbity.
We got
Very
Ohio
skibbity.
Riz, baby.
That's what the
Nobody else
Simpsons
has it
said.
like us. All right.
All right. Anyway, sorry. I was taking
Anyways.
a sip of water.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's like
What is that bottle?
Oh, it's a Soda Stream. It's a
Oh,
very
okay. I thought it
phallic
was-
shaped.
Yeah, I thought it was
Soda
glass
Stream.
for some reason. I was like, what
No,
the hell
no,
kind
it's
of
full.
water comes in that kind of a bottle?
No, it's you know, I'm not a huge fan of water. Like, it doesn't have taste.
Ah, so you're like Asmongold.
Stuck.
So I like to have some. So I put like the Jolly Rancher, all the shit that makes the water unhealthy. So
So you drink
know.
you drink water to be healthy, and then you pump it full of everything
of
that
sugars
is
and shit. Yeah, absolutely.
actually
Why not?
unhealthy.
Duh.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just
Fair
saying, like it. I don't. If you guys have ever seen Parks and Rec, Parks and Rec's one of my favorite like shows. Up there with
Yeah.
The Office. There's an episode toward the end of the seasons that is basically talking about having it so that Sweetums, which is the candy factory in that area, is going to just fill the Pawnee Reservoir with nothing but like sugary crap. So like when you turn your faucet on, it's just nothing but like sugar
That's
water.
disgusting.
Delicious.
I'm for
That's
that. Like I'm 100%
gross.
for
Ew.
that. I don't see
Listen,
the
I-
problem.
I'd rather live in Flint, Michigan.
I can't,
Okay.
I can't bitch, moan, or complain because I've got 3 different types of soda can on my desk along with water bottles. But
So I can't, dude. I have to not do sodas. Like I am
one of them sugar free.
well, yeah, but I'm a soda addict.
Total-
Like
The
you know how,
the
the
other-
Bahaga Blast.
like people that
Fogger.
do like nicotine, right? They have their, you know, or they're beer snobs. I am completely a soda snob. If I start drinking sodas, I will not stop drinking sodas. It is all that I drink. We actually don't even have 6-packs and stuff like that in the house because my family will literally go. We did 2 24-packs and they were gone in a day. So it was like,
Jesus.
yeah.
Wow.
That's
two
Go
of
hard.
them.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
oh shit, yeah, no,
Yeah.
no doubt.
That's
Absolutely.
extremely
That's why he doesn't
Holy
keep them in the
fuck.
house.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
might be why I'm a little overweight. From here to here, beautiful. From here down, y'all don't see it, fat as fuck. I'm just saying, fat as fuck. All
Yep.
right. Well,
Let's
welcome in,
get into the
everybody.
show.
Let's get into the show. It is episode 136. If this is your first time here, as we do have a lot of new subscribers, if you are listening to us again post-mortem or after the show on any of your podcasting apps, we do this live right here on YouTube and on Twitch at 10:30 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays. But you know, again, you can go catch us on any of our podcasting apps. You got a lot of stuff to catch up on. And this is no different. We've got a big show covering a lot of different games. I actually, for the first time, only have one game. And I had to rush to get this one in because I was like, all I'm playing is WoW. That is literally
New
consumed
norm?
my entire life. Do what?
New norm.
No, it will
No.
not be the new norm.
There you go.
Doubt.
He's
Very
gonna
highly
play at
doubt.
least 2 more games during this podcast to show off.
Right?
I guarantee you.
Yeah,
Like he's
I'm
not-
actually side playing them right now. You guys
Yeah.
just don't know.
on
I'm actually-
on his feet. He's
Yeah.
he's actually got his Steam Deck down there on his feet,
Yeah.
and he's playing
Yeah.
with his toes.
Well, that's what the
Yeah.
that's what the only feet account is for. Is just so you get to see me play video games with my feet. So, but yeah, no, we've got a couple new games to talk about. We finally get to talk about Rainbow Six and the new season.
Yes.
We've been trying to talk about this for like 3 weeks, but just couldn't get Bill here to do it because of all the scheduling alignment and all this kind of stuff. So we finally get to do it. I'm really happy about talking about that.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
We've got some
That's
Concord
perfect 'cause it
news.
just came
and-
out a couple games ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And some other things to talk about. So let's jump right into it. And I'm going to talk about the game that I've been playing, which is called Demon Loop. And
Demon
it
Souls?
is
You're-
no, it's called nope,
This
not
doesn't look
Death
like
Loop.
Demon Souls.
Nope.
So this is called Demon Loop. And this is an indie game. You can definitely tell it's an indie game, like right out of the gate. There are things that it's an early access first and foremost. So there are things that
Okay.
like don't work. There are things that don't not well, yeah, I had some issues, glitches, but before we talk about all that, I want to talk about like what the actual game is. So Demon Loop is a
It's a deck
turn-based
builder.
tabletop game. It's made by hold on, I need to pull up because I want to know the guy that like created it is some big name person, and they tout it like very first thing that you see right out of the gate. Okay, so Demon Loop is a digital board game from renowned tabletop author Alexander Fitzer. Don't know if you guys are familiar with tabletop games. Maybe you know who this is.
Maybe
I have
maybe
no
we
idea.
should know who that is. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
He
don't know.
sounds-
But essentially this
See.
is a like story or a turn-based deck building card game. And the objective is you are on this loop and you essentially get cards, and then you are to have to go to the different colored spots to activate those cards and use them. So you can see like I have like a green card that says like chop wood, or a red card that says like do XYZ. And at its very base, like when I first started playing, I was like, wow, this seems super easy, because like you also have to go around the board, and you'll see like there's these little huts that you have to get to, and you're able to like use their ability, which is like obtain 1 influence, or spend 4 influence and gain 2 wood, and then from there you have to use that wood to gain merit, and that's like maybe what you have to do to accomplish. You have to gain 5 merit to accomplish the mission for that area. So at first glance, I was like, wow, this seems like really easy. This seems I am frozen. What is going on with my camera? That's awesome.
He's stuck in a loop.
I am
It's
stuck in a
the
loop.
demon loop.
You may just have to see me stuck like this because I don't know what's going on with my
For the entire cast.
couldn't
that's it.
tell
He's
you what's wrong with the
post-mortem.
webcam.
He's
Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
I mean, I could, but I don't know what that might do.
Go for
it. Yeah, give me 2 seconds.
Test
chat.
it
We're
out.
gonna-
all
we're
good.
gonna-
Why
let's
not?
try it.
You know,
disable
we like
my
doing
camera
yours
and
live.
turn it back on.
Worst comes to worst, it breaks the entire podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like that hasn't
Hello?
happened before.
Hello? Am I back?
Hello?
I'm moving.
Hello.
There we go. Okay. Don't know what happened there.
Right.
Awesome. Hey, like I said, it wouldn't be the pre-patch podcast if a tech issue would not happen.
I don't
Holy
know.
shit.
I don't quite know what you were saying. But this looks a lot like Loop Heroes to me. But in a
yeah.
way that you kind of can go directional. Like you don't have to go in one path. It looks like, right?
No, so you can go in any kind of direction that you want.
Yeah.
And the cards that you get have different, like you either can use them or you can spin them to move. So in each card has like a movement number associated with it.
Cool.
But essentially once you get to an encounter where like and you might have a mission where you don't have to fight anything at all, and then there's missions that are just like, hey, manage resources, do XYZ. But when you do get to an encounter that has you have to fight something, you then are using cards in your deck to get a certain amount of rolls or dice that you use to roll, and you match those numbers up to what you saw on the screen there, where like it may have like a troll that has like a 4, then it connects down to a 3, then it connects down to a 1, and you have to match the numbers or beat the numbers essentially to beat the boss or beat the whatever it may be. This game does a very good job of like stacking all of these like kind of what at first seems very, very like simple actually turns into a very complicated game. And I was actually really surprised because like I said, when I was first playing it, I was just like, wow, this is super boring. You know, they probably could do a little bit better with the tutorial, but like there just doesn't seem like a lot of action going on. You're just running around in a circle and it seems very easy. I got 2 missions outside of the main tutorial and got my ass handed to me because like you get these guys that are like destroying the town, which are these buildings around you. You have to like repair them. You got to like manage all these different resources. If you ever played Catan, it's very much like Catan in the sense of like I have to manage all this stuff while also trying to win a game and raise a civilization.
That seems to be this guy's kind of like one of his things that he does. I'm looking up some of his games, and I don't know if you guys play board games or anything, but Great Western Trail is one that I'm familiar with, and it kind of has that like that ramp very quickly style design with a lot of moving parts. So I can imagine it getting pretty complicated as the game goes on.
Yeah. And again, it's not. I'm not familiar with that game at all, but I do like board games, and I do enjoy games like this. And I don't know, it's really cool. Like honestly, like it's in early access right now. You can pick it up for $12 or 13. And you know, it's got positive reviews. I think that something like this is very unique. Because again, like you talk about, like I like Slay the Spire, I like deck building games.
Duck building.
My son was talking to me about
I like duck building.
Yeah.
my son was talking to me about Duckside all day, so like I have Duckside on my brain. But
Fuck is duck side?
Ducks, it's
Rust,
literally
but you're
dead.
Ducks.
Yeah, dead side,
Or
but
dead
you're a
side,
duck.
yeah.
So anyway, but
Yeah.
I go back to this. It's really cool because I like games like Hero Loop, right? I like games like Slay the Spire, and this does a really great job of putting it all together. So I really recommend it. Again, Magnolia Games developed it with the helps of Hydra Games, and it was self-published by Magnolia Games. I definitely recommend go try it out. It is a really fun time.
I feel like this would be a great game to have a demo. I'm surprised they don't.
Yeah, I don't know if they did have one before.
Maybe before, yeah.
Or open
I'm pretty,
tests,
I'm pretty
but-
sure they had one during the Games Fest because this was one of the games that I was
Oh,
looking
okay.
at possibly playing, and I don't remember if I actually put any time into it.
Yeah, I
It
think-
doesn't ring a bell.
I think this actually, from what I'm reading in the comments, this actually might be a board game already, and they are bringing it to the PC.
It looks very board game esque, so I
It
could
wouldn't surprise
definitely,
me. Yeah,
yeah. I could
they've got
definitely
that.
see
They've got that other game. I think is of Mice and Men. They've got a video game. I've heard that was really good. And then that's a full conversion.
Is
from
that a video
board
game
as well.
I just
adaptation
want to pet
of
the
the
web,
book?
George.
Of the book Mice and Men, there's a board game adaptation of the book, and there's a video game adaptation of the board game that's an
I
adaptation of the
might
book.
be speaking. It's of Mice and something. I don't. It might not be of Mice and
It's
Men.
of Mice and Men. That's wild to me. Oh,
I think I think I know
That-
what you're talking about.
like,
I definitely don't think it's of Mice and Men.
if it is that, honest to God, they should just didn't do one of War and Peace. Why not? Like we're going for
Is it
fucking
Mice and Magic? It might be
I-
Mice
I
and
was
Men.
gonna
I
say-
can't remember.
what?
Mice
Oh
and
my God.
Mystics.
Okay,
That's it.
I
That's
was
it.
like
That's
Mice
it.
and Men. That's a movie. That's an adaptation of a
Uh,
book.
It's not of Mice and Moggies.
Oh my God.
Nah, that's not the
Okay.
one.
Okay, all right. Let's bring it back.
We're having too much fun.
Anyway, so yeah, so
Smash my mic.
Demon Loop, $13. If you're a fan of Slay the Spire, if you're a fan of Demon Loop, this is Demon Loop. If you're a fan of Hero Loop, or Loop Hero, yeah. And if you're a fan of board games, I definitely recommend giving it a shot. I don't think that you'll be disappointed at all. You know, like I said, there are some bugs. I got some like audio glitches where like sound wasn't working whenever I was, you know, attacking somebody, but those are minor things that you can kind of overlook for a $13 game in early access. It's still it really is fun. It's a fun little game. And I definitely recommend
looks like it.
giving it a shot.
Yeah.
So I always look at these card roguelikes or whatever you want to call them. And I'm like, man, that I really want to play that, and then I never fucking do. I really need to.
Yeah. Yeah.
This would be a great
You just,
Steam
you
Deck
just
game.
look at it.
100%.
Yeah, I'm with you on
really
that
great
one.
Steam Deck game. So,
Cool.
all right. Well, Enigma, I know that you, man, dude, you are the resident trucker. To be honest, you look like a trucker.
Jesus,
That's
not the
accurate.
trucker.
You,
in
you
fact.
sound like a trucker. Yeah. At least
That
you know
is-
what? At
that
least
is,
this show, I don't have.
I wonder why.
I don't have
wonder
to
why.
have to hear that you are the fucking Godfather of this cast. If I have to hear that one more
I
time,
am
Oh my
the
gosh,
Godfather.
that was funny.
I
Um,
I am the Godfather, sir.
But in this episode, you are going to be the trucker, and you are actually going to be Star Truck, right? I think you
Yes,
you jumped into
space
the
trucking,
space
bro.
Star Trucking. What
Oh,
is this?
It's
yeah,
game?
actually-
I've seen this.
Yeah, so this is a game I got recently. I'd had my eye on it kind of for a little while, at least probably up until the Summer Games Fest. I think was the first time that I'd seen it. But if you guys have ever seen like American Truck Simulator,
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's very similar in a lot of aspects to American Truck Simulator, but I feel like it does some things a little bit better. Like because in American Truck Simulator, it's literally you're just the trucker, right? And that's
Yeah.
all you're doing. You're going from one load to another, picking it up, taking it wherever you go, right? This one actually adds in some instances of like I don't want to say like survival, but at the same
I'm
time
seeing
it
you
does kind
fixing
of
the truck.
yeah, it does kind of add in survival aspects. So like you actually physically, if you run into shit, if you're trucking across the universe and you run into a fucking like a comet, or if you run into like just space debris or something like that, right? It's gonna fuck your truck up. And you actually have to get out sometimes and repair that, or else you're gonna lose all your lung juice, is what they call air. You're
Lung
losing a lot.
juice.
You're losing. You're
That's
losing a
gross.
lot
I've
of
never
lung
felt
juice.
nasty about
I was
breathing.
gonna say, is this
That's
Australian?
funny.
No. So that's the opening of the entire game. Is like you're introduced into your cab, and over the CB you hear, "Hey there, buddy, wrecked on the road. You're leaking a lot of lung juice there. You might want to fix that." And I'm like, "Oh, I see what that is. Okay, I get it. It's air. That's funny."
That I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's clever. I like
So
it.
it adds stuff like that into the game where it doesn't, you don't really have, as far as I've seen, like a food and a water gauge or anything like that, but it adds like the truck will break down over time. You'll have like these things that I'm picking up right now, which are like circuit boards that you have to replace over time, right? You have to replace power cells over time because they'll deplete over time, right?
Okay.
And obviously there are upgrades to your actual truck, to your person, that you can do that can like extend the life of those. But very early on they go out extremely quickly, right? Like I think I'm like 5-6 hours into it, and I swear to God, like I've almost died multiple. In fact, the I was playing earlier today, and I'm about to die because I'm running out of air and I can't find a
Lung
fucking
juice.
place to get air filters. Yeah.
Lung juice.
Not a lung juice.
So I've got to like run to the back, put on
You're
my
dying
fucking
because
space
you
suit.
don't have an air filter.
Yeah, run to the back, put on my spacesuit so that I can live, and then continuously run to the back to recharge my spacesuit while I'm trying to find air filters and stuff for the inside of the cab and everything like that.
Wow.
So,
By the way,
but
I also
surprisingly,
want to correct something real quick. We called it Space Trucker, but there is actually some weird game called Space Trucker on Steam. This is Star Trucker.
Star Trucker.
yeah,
Star
yep.
Trucker.
Star Trucker.
Now I have
Yep.
to see what space trucker is.
This is
Well, you might find the movie Space Truckers that I also found. Apparently, was made in 1996. Looks like a 1996 movie, but it's yeah, Space Truckers is a movie and some kind of shitty game. This is
All right. Yeah, this looks
Star
a lot
Trucker.
better.
This is
So,
Star
Star Trucker. Yep, you
Star
are the
Trucker.
Star Lord of the trucking business in space.
So yeah, this is a, I don't know, man. I wasn't expecting as much from it as I got out of it. Honestly, like I expected to load into it and be like,
Jump
"Ah,
gates?
it's kind of fun, but it's whatever." But yeah, no, it's got like full on
fuck?
systems. You can like corner the market for like selling
It's for that Prime 2-day
selling
shipping.
shit. Yeah. you can go from like system to system, and each system has a different economy in it. So if like you can buy things from one system and bring it to another and sell them for more profit, right?
That is
Um,
wild.
It's like crazy, dude. Like I did not expect, like when I first saw this, I thought, it's gonna be just some rinky dink, space trucker sim trying to play off the whole popularity of American Truck Simulator, right? This, like, honestly, I think it weighs up. Like I do think that it does a lot of things better and some things worse, but a lot of things better. It is extremely fucking difficult, right? Like if you guys don't know, I used to drive. I didn't drive like big truck, but I drove around a truck in a 32-foot trailer for a living. I know
Oh
how to
shit!
back
I didn't know that. I didn't know you
trailers
were
up.
actually a trucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Fucking
all right.
got him.
I used to do delivery and installation, and we would drive around a big truck and a
Just
32-foot trailer.
filling
So
that stereotype that
so this
baseball cap, big beard.
yeah, this kind of fits into my wheelhouse of my repertoire, right? I had so much issue because like I'm used to just having one plane, having to learn how to, turn left and right. This you have to learn how to turn up and down as well. It's got all accesses, right? So like you're sitting there trying to back up your load into the portion where you drop it off, right? And if you accidentally hit the fucking downward button or the upward button, it just flips. It's just like
Oh man.
so it took a little bit of getting used to. This is my second run. My first run, I tried recording it. It got fucked up. I'm glad I didn't record it because I had like 13 minutes worth of me trying to figure out how to back something into a loading dock.
Wait, are you saying you can jackknife your
Yes.
load on the? Can you
Yep.
jackknife it in any direction?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh
More or
no.
less, yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
It doesn't like stop. That's the good thing about being in space is that like you
Holy
can't really
users
jackknife
manual.
yourself. Yeah, it has a lot of instances. Like there's a lot of stuff to the game. Like I said, I think
Wow.
it does a lot of things extremely well, and I did not expect it. Right,
So how does it
I
compare to
didn't-
like
I didn't expect it
cargoing
at all.
in like actual
like
like
Star
space
Citizen or
sims?
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so I haven't played Star Citizen's new cargo stuff. They literally just dropped that, I think, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I need to go in and actually do that. It's definitely dumbed down. It's an arcade. It's
I
an
mean, that's
arcadey version,
fine.
obviously. Yeah, it's
I
an
wouldn't
arcadey
want it to
version. I don't think
be-
that's bad.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want it to be super serious. Not like a
Yeah.
game like that I'm looking at right now. This
No,
looks fun.
it's
like
it's just difficult enough to be a
Yeah.
challenge without being like frustratingly bad,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And I
something.
just ran into something right there. Yeah, and you can see the spout of lung juice coming out my front
oh
right there.
no.
So yeah, dude, it's surprisingly enjoyable. I think again, like I said, I think I have like maybe 5-6 hours into it, and I continue to go back to it. I'm like, this is actually really fun. I enjoy it, which I like trucker sims. Like generally, when I play those kinds of games, it just like I'm dreading. I'm like, oh god, I'm going back to what I used to do. I don't want to do this. Why am I fucking punishing myself again?
Yeah.
This I didn't feel that. I actually had quite a bit of fun with this. So it's good. I think right now, let me check the pricing for it.
20,
'cause I think it's,
$22.49 on sale.
I was about to say, I think
Yeah.
it's a
So
pretty decent price,
20,
man. Like, it's-
$25 USD originally.
Yeah, I was looking.
It's fair.
I know I've been looking down, and if you're or not talking too much, because I've been actually trying to find this developer and what they have developed because they are part of the Raw Fury development,
Yeah.
publishing team. But I believe this is actually their first game. They've been an indie studio
Which-
since 2011, but this is their first.
Which,
game.
if that's the case, and this is their first game, man, it is polished. Like I did not
Yeah.
run into any issues. I haven't run into any bugs. It's the voice acting in it is awesome. It's amazing. You go around, you've got these more veteran truckers that kind of introduce you to the game, right? The one of them's called like Red something or another, like Red Apple or so. They all base themselves off of like foods, it seems, or like trucker themed names. It's kind of
I saw Dusty Bear
big surprise,
earlier.
right? Yeah,
Dusty Bear.
Dusty Bear, big surprise, right? They all theme themselves off of trucker themes when they're truckers in space. But the voice acting is extremely good. Like whoever they got to do all these voices,
Are
top
they-
notch, man. Like they
so-
did a really good job with it.
You talked about kind of the whole like 360 degree, planes and access and all that kind of stuff. Do you
Mhm.
have roads, or is this like Back to the Future?
You do-
too, like
So
we
you
don't
do
need
have
roads?
highways. So you do have highways like I'm driving on right now. From what I can understand, if you drive on those roads, you're less likely to run into shit. So like I take a lot of
they're clear
I
of,
take
like,
a lot of like
asteroids and
easy,
shit,
yeah, they're clear of
debris.
asteroids and everything. But if you take the other path, like the more direct path, there's asteroids, there's shit in space that you're gonna run into. There's
So you can
I
just go
think-
wherever you want.
yeah, you can
Okay,
go wherever the
that's
hell you
cool.
want to. It's just it's more dangerous, and if you hit something, you get deducted from your pay from your job.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Then
yeah.
you're
So-
playing Mud Runner in space.
Pretty much,
Pretty much.
yeah, pretty much, more or less. The graphics are like phenomenal, man. Like I did not expect it from them. The like the
very
worlds,
nice, yeah.
looking at the planets, like going into space and just kind of taking a look around. When I first entered into the game, I kind of did like a pan. I was like, dude, this is beautiful. It had like a star system with like some kind of like gas in the space and everything like that was lit up behind it. That was beautiful, man. And then like just how smooth everything runs. I don't know, man.
It looks.
I'm infatuated with it. They did a
I'm-
really good job with it.
I'm actually kind of surprised that did you just get a contract in the middle of the fucking? Wait, was that accepting like? Oh, you're
No,
accepting a load.
that's I'm at the job board right now. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
I was like, did
accepting
they
I'm
just in the
accepting a
middle
load.
of the game hit you with a EULA? Like,
No,
it fucking-
in EULA. No, so that's that. Those contracts are actually you want to read those because some of those contracts are different. Like some of those contracts will tell you like, hey, you need to be there between this time and this time, and if you're there early, we're going to deduct pay. If you're there late, we're going to deduct pay. Or they'll have like instances where they'll have very specific like uh things that like you can't go over a certain amount of speed, everything like that. So those contracts have
Right.
very specific things that if you don't actually read them, the game doesn't necessarily tell you those things in like the left side
like fragile
job
load
board
and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
And like,
Well,
yeah.
that's the thing. You can specialize in loads. So like there are specialized things like there. I think this run I specialized in like I jobs that were like quick turnaround. So I had to be there, pick the shit up, and be at the low drop off location within a very short amount of time, right?
Look.
There's certain things that are like you can be like a long haul trucker, you can be like a heavy load trucker, a hazard load trucker, right? Very interesting how much detail they put into it, and if you know anything about like actual trucking, it is very 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 close, like
Okay,
very
most
close.
As close as you can get to being other than being in space.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So okay, most important question. All right,
Yeah.
are there lot lizards in this game?
Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
They're
you know,
really
it's
star
it's a
lizards.
DLC. It's a
They're-
DLC
It's a
that you got to pay a little
DLC.
bit more for, but you
Well, I
know.
mean, yeah, you should always pay your lot lizards, people. It's important.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
God.
Yeah, I
Love
don't know.
it.
This, you know, what's surprising and shocker. This is going to come out of my mouth, right? Is I feel like this game would benefit from multiplayer. I think it'd be really cool to like kind of space truck with your buddies.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a mod coming for it.
I
So-
think a lot of these games
I've-
could be fun with buddies. Like they
Yeah.
even have some like co-op. I think in American Truck
They
Well,
do.
Simulator.
yeah.
They have
So, yeah.
online play in trucks in American Truck, like full
Yeah.
like servers.
I don't
and
think
everything
that's
like that,
a
so.
wild thing to say at all. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
very cool.
I agree with you on that one. Like being able to start up like your own long haul company would be kind of cool, I think.
Yeah.
And being
Dope.
able to like upgrades. It does have like full upgrades. Like you can upgrade your truck, you can customize it with like paint jobs, everything like that. So it's
Awesome.
I can't gush about it enough, man. Like they did an extremely good job with it. So if you guys
It's
are
impressive.
interested in this kind of stuff, go and check it out. 25 bucks, I think is what you said, like 25.
Yeah,
26?
25, but it's 22 on sale at the moment. 22.50
Yeah,
USD.
it's well worth the fucking money, honestly. Well worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Well, there you go. Star Trucker, made by Monster and Monster. It is their first game. We can tell at least. So there you go. Go check it out. All right. Let's get into another game that I don't know. I've got some serious questions for Bill. Right.
boy.
Bill is
It's
the only
that
one that has, I think, played this game at least on the cast.
Yeah, 3
And-
PS5s, and I'm the only fucking one.
I mean, dude, I don't have time. WoW has sucked my soul
He
away.
doesn't have time. Brings 4 games to the cast next week.
Okay. All right.
It's true. It's gonna happen.
We're
That's not
talking
true.
about
He'll bring more WoW to this cast next week. He'll be like,
yeah,
bro,
absolutely.
I
It's-
fucking did my shaman.
I've
Shaman's great, bro.
It is.
I've
I'm
low-key
loving
been
Shaman.
really enjoying the WoW streams whenever I'm getting ready for work, though.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that. So we're talking about Astrobot, game of the year, right? Absolutely going to be game of the year. Space Marine can kick rocks. Wukong can go,
What's
know,
Wukong?
go
Don't
jump
even
back in a tree because, god damn it,
Yeah.
Astrobot. Okay.
Astrobot.
For everybody that is not familiar, Bill, what is Astrobot?
Astrobot is Sony's newest attempt to create a mascot for the company, basically. This kind of started off with this is actually the third or fourth game in this series. There's originally the Playroom. Yeah, technically.
You can barely consider there were play tests and
Yeah,
tech
well,
demos.
so
The
there was the
PS5
playroom,
yeah.
which it introduced the bots,
Right.
and then there was the one for the PS5, and then there was the VR one, Astrobot VR mission, and now we have the official Astrobot
Yeah.
game.
I
So
don't know. I would consider this the first game in the series.
No, if
like,
you've never played that tech the demo that they go through your whole like
Yeah,
controller and system,
it-
that is
it's
a
a
game.
it's a
fucking
3-hour
game.
game.
If we are willing
right.
to say that Senua Saga 2 was a game, then this is a game as well.
Yeah, exactly.
sure.
So
I won't argue.
but it's basically Sony trying to do a mascot style game with the bots from that type of thing. It also
trying to
has a
Mario.
ton. Yeah, they're trying to Mario. And also this game is just Sony coded to the teeth. Everything in this game is a PlayStation reference. There are levels in the game that you unlock from giant space triangles, circles, X's, and squares that you rescue from asteroids. All of the characters in the game are either Sony first party characters or games that were once upon a time Sony exclusive characters.
I heard there's some deep cut. Like we're not going to talk about it because we don't want to ruin anybody's experience, right? Obviously,
Right.
everybody knows that God of War that they've touted that heavily.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's some also from what I've heard some very deep cuts into the Sony roster that they go.
Wildly deep. Like
Wow.
there's I would say
Like
probably
obscure.
yeah. There's 300.
bordering on deeply obscure.
There's 300 official bots in the game, or
Wow.
300 bots that you can get in the game. About 120 or so of them are Sony characters, and yeah, there are some wildly obscure, like back to like the Pixel era,
Yeah.
and stuff that
I was gonna say,
I
does
had no
Sony
clue
have
who the fuck-
120 fucking IPs that they own? I didn't even know that.
I mean, a lot of the characters
It's-
are, yeah,
It's
like,
it's not just OP, or it's not just IPs that they own as well though. It's like IPs that they've had on the PlayStation.
Yeah,
right? This isn't just
yeah.
strictly
I know,
their
I'm
kidding.
own IPs.
yeah, exactly. But getting all of that out of the way, a lot of people are saying yes, it's PlayStation Mario, and I can understand the resemblance. There's definitely a lot of mechanics and stuff that resemble and are. It's a platformer at the end of the day. It's a third person platformer. You can't vary that much from the person who originated 3D third person platforming, which was Mario.
Yeah.
So, that being said, I've been saying it for a while. It's something that I have talked to Brett about since the Switch came out and like Mario Odyssey and stuff like that. I wish that Nintendo would upgrade their hardware because I think their games would do or allow their games on other platforms because I feel like their games would do amazing on other platforms. And this 100% proves that correct. This, in my opinion, is more polished. There's more detail in it. And while it is, I wouldn't necessarily say it's more fun. It's more my speed than what a Mario game is. And the amount of detail that they are able to pack into this is wild. It's the only game in the PlayStation roster and that actually uses everything that the PS5 can do
Why are we dancing?
effectively.
By the way,
Why are we dancing? Because the tree's singing, the tree's singing to us.
That's funny. I think that's
Nice.
actually a good thing. I mean, obviously that's a good thing. I think that's like why this game is doing so well too. Coming off of being a tech demo, it knows how to utilize everything. You know, it was already directly showing you how to utilize all like the features that the PlayStation could do, and now
Yeah.
you know you have a game full of that pretty much. So I think that's great. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and the features that you're talking about, can you want to explain like some of what those features are?
Yeah, so the biggest and one of the coolest things that I feel like sets PlayStation's PS5 and stuff apart from like Xbox and Nintendo and stuff like that is the DualSense 5 controller is full haptic enabled, and it does things like beyond what I thought was possible in a like handheld controller. Beyond like just standard vibration stuff, like whenever you walk through like a field of flowers, it feels like you can feel the individual like flowers hitting up against your character. If it's raining, you feel like little tippy taps on the top of the controller. If you're doing any action, you can there is a feedback to that action. There is noise that is coming out of the controller constantly that syncs up with what you're doing. Like every time I would like push these flowers out of the little elephant backpack, there's like a little that comes out of the controller. Like it is one of the most immersive experiences that I think is possible in gaming without having like a VR headset or a haptic suit or anything like that. And that's why I think this game is succeeding as much as it is. It is doing something so well in that immersion aspect that I genuinely don't think. I think this is one of the few games out there that literally anybody that likes video games could pick up and have a good time with. Yes, it is very Sony coded, like almost obnoxiously so, but even without knowing anything about Sony or any of the Easter eggs that are popping up, the gameplay itself and how it like really makes you like invest you, and like everything else disappears when you're playing this game. It's wild, and I haven't had that feeling in a very long time. So this is not only is like 3D platforming like very nostalgic to some people because a lot of people grew up in that era of gaming.
Yeah,
Uh,
where I'm at.
it takes it to the next level that I wish
Yeah.
more game developers would take advantage of the PlayStation, like bring that level of immersion to.
I was actually just gonna say that because like I definitely grew up on like the platforming era of gaming, and they're games I loved fondly, and I just haven't played them in a long time. But seeing this, like, really, it's giving me more than even Super Mario for me, because I didn't play those like the new ones that introduced like the platforming. I played like more along the PlayStation ones. I played Spyro a lot. This is giving me like that Spyro feel where, you know, because like that game too, you're collecting dragons and eggs and everything, just like this, how you're collecting the bots. I like that a lot, and it's actually it's making me want this, man. I don't even have like a PlayStation to play it. But
unfortunately, with all that stuff that I mentioned before, there's no way that they could bring this to PC.
Yeah, there's not.
Unless
Right.
Steam is able. Unless Steam is able. It kind of is.
Kind of.
Well, I mean,
like
they
just
again, like,
dumbed down. It wouldn't be able to utilize.
They just
Well,
they just launched their
if you let us
PC
talk-
controller platform that allows you to have all of the haptic shit on your PC now.
Does it?
Yes.
I didn't know it
because
was
that's
do all the
coded. That's
haptic.
coded into the game. It's not coded into the console.
But you would need a PS5 controller to do that.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, yes.
All right, well,
Okay.
that's not. If that's the only thing that is holding you back, then that's
yeah.
doable
That's
then.
what I was gonna get to. Is
Okay.
Technically they can, but I don't know how many people are going to spend the $60 for the game and then also have a PlayStation controller on hand to take advantage of the haptics, because there are segments of the game that are unplayable without the specific controller. Because I don't think the Xbox controller or like the Steam gamepads or anything like that have the functionality that the PlayStation controller has that is required for this game.
I mean, I don't think that they would. I'm just saying they could if they wanted to and make it a requirement.
They could.
You have to have the
They
controller.
could.
So
Yeah.
okay, I do have some questions, and I have some some things, right? Because originally I was like, all right, let me go. Like, I'm gonna pick the game up. I'm gonna try it out. And
Why wouldn't you just try out the free game that's installed on the console?
I have played that.
Okay, and you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. Like so this is kind of what I wanted to bring up, right? So you mentioned and I'm happy that you did, because one of the things about it, so like I grew up during that platforming, right? And I know that I'm a minority in probably feeling like this, but I want to clarify that I am very, very happy that a game company launched a game and it is, perfectly done, like from a like standpoint of like, this is what we want to do, this is what we want to accomplish. Like, it's not it's trash, there's glitches, there's bugs, there's problems like what we normally get, or it's regurgitated shit. So happy about that. But I grew up during a time where like I played nonstop platforming games. So for me, I'm actually the opposite. I go at it and I'm like, okay, like I don't like the Mario. I don't like, because I don't want to go back and play those games. Like I had that for so many years as a kid. So like and that's why I'm so hard into like multiplayer games, because for me, my first wow moment of like, oh my God, was like logging on and playing, Ultima or whatever and having that. Again, I'm a minority, but the other
Right.
thing,
Right.
for me that I have a concern with, and I want to know if you have an answer or no. Like, I saw the price tag at this, and I was just like, I can't see spending $60 on this because it just
It's
seems
100% worth it. And
overpriced.
it's not even a little bit. The amount of detail and the amount of care that was put into this game is ridiculous. I think it's worth every bit of $60. I'm surprised and happy that they didn't go for the $70 price tag on it, because I
I
feel
was
like
about to say
that's
they
gonna,
could have went
Yeah.
70, man.
yeah.
Well,
I'm surprised that they didn't, but it's in my opinion well worth the $60 price tag, just from the polish, the vision. This, if somebody had a vision for what they wanted with this game, I can't imagine it being anything but like perfect compared to what they were wanting. Like, everything this game sets out to do, I feel like it has exceeded like expectation. I feel like it is exactly what it wanted to do. No corners cut whatsoever.
so okay, you brought up games of yesteryear, right? And whatever
Right.
else. So games of the past cost a lot of money, and you had to like get a lot of stuff out of it, like, because that was it. Like, as a kid, man, you got one game maybe fucking every couple months, and that was all that you got, right? And
Right.
so you had to get that dollar value out of it. Do you feel and again, I know you give an unbiased, but I say this as a coverall of an unbiased opinion. Do you feel that the game has enough content to work to be valued at 60? Take out all of like the tech stuff. Like, I get all that. The game is beautiful, whatever else. But like, people bitched and moaned about Hellblade Senua Saga for being overpriced for what it was, for the length of what it was, because it was short. And I mean,
Right.
there were a few other things, but the main argument there was it was a short game. I have seen
Right.
some people, and we were talking about it pre-show, where some people have said, "Oh, there's 5 hours here." Then I've had other people, that, like you guys were saying, like, "Oh, there's
Yeah,
18 hours here." Like, I- it-
that's the
What is
biggest question that I have is like it just seems like I can't get a solid answer. Like you've stated that your wife has what'd you say, like seven or eight?
17
I can't remember what it
hours.
was. 17 hours. I'm sorry, and
God
you've
damn.
got what, almost six?
I've got 6,
I
and
think yeah.
I've 100% of two of the 6 galaxy, or two of the
Okay.
5 galaxies. Technically
Yeah,
there's
and
6.
I've
One's the secret galaxy, but yeah.
And she's
Okay.
put it up to 88%, but beat the game, right?
She's beat the game. She's up to 94% as of right now.
She's still
17
going.
hours in. So she'll
So-
probably, within the next hour, so she'll probably round out around 18-ish hours in the game.
Gotcha. So
Total
call her back in
100%ing
that
it.
time, and we'll go first.
Yeah.
So
No, cool.
it's obviously got the hours, at least for new age games for the most part. Like 18
Right.
hours in my opinion is not that terrible. Like that's pretty good for $60. That's pretty on par with what we've seen from other titles, right?
And maybe
Right.
for this style
It's
of game
weird.
too, it's weird to compare games too, because you have very in depth like RPGs that run you many hours numerous.
Yeah.
But
Right.
And
platformers in general
I don't
are
think
more
that I don't
linear.
think that we're and that's the thing. Like we're not
Yeah.
comparing. We're just
No,
we're
no,
just
we're
going
not,
off
no.
of the fact of like
I'm just saying
that
that in a way that,
there was a lot of complaints about the fact that like
yeah,
Senua Saga was short, but nobody's complaining about this being possibly short.
right.
So I've got 2 answers to that. The first one is in regard to Senua's saga in general. I feel like if the game itself was different, people wouldn't have complained that much about the length of the game. I feel like when you take a 5 or 6 hour experience and make like probably close to half of that interactive cutscenes, that's where you start having issues. The same thing with like the Order 19 or 18, whatever it was. I can't remember the
I
date,
know
but
you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
it
I
had
know
a
what you're
similar
doing.
issue. The game was beautiful. The game, when you were actually playing it, was fun, but I think with the majority of it being interactive cutscenes, that's where people tend to have more issues with that. Taking Hellblade completely out of it, though, I genuinely I can understand where on paper this game can be beat in 5-6 hours. I can understand that. You only need to get, I think, 100 of the bots to be able to get through and fight the final boss of the game, if that's what people consider beating the game. I get that. That being said, I don't understand how anybody who is genuinely enjoying this game and having a good time with it would ever short themselves of going for as much of the stuff as possible. I'm not necessarily saying 100%ing it, but like actively, like the game makes you want to go out and get it. It's that fun to play that it never feels like a chore to have to go and search through these levels for stuff that you missed. So
It definitely seems like a game built in mind of like that completion is seeking like
yeah, like what you were
exploration, like, you
saying
know,
with the old school like Spyro. It has
Yeah.
a very Spyro feel to it,
That's what
where
I get,
you're looking
yeah.
for the eggs, you're looking for all the gems, like that kind of thing.
for sure.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know, because like that was I keep going back to it. And again, this is not like, this game is not for me, right? Like I'm not a Sony player. I don't.
I think
own
if
a
you played it, you would have a
PlayStation.
hell of a time with it.
I
Genuinely.
might I might, and the same can be said for Senua Saga. If I actually played Senua Saga, I would
Yeah.
probably enjoy.
I mean, I
it,
love the
right?
first Hellblade. I love the first Hellblade, so I'm right there with you on that.
The second one, from what I understood, was like it was 5 to 6 hours for like a quick playthrough, averaged about 6 to 9, I believe was what it was, and then for like 100% completion, it was like 8 to 12. The like they bombarded that fucking game for having, and they stuck with that 5 hour length, and nobody could fucking argue the fact that like, hey, if you 100% it, it's about 12 hours. Everybody was just like, no, it's 5 to 6 hours. Terrible
Right.
game. 5 to 6 hours, $60. Nah, fuck that. But they're singing praise for this one. Just very strange to me.
I feel like the content of the gameplay itself is more the determining factor than what
Yeah,
the game length was.
but again, you're looking at two, and I get where you're coming from. They're two different games. This is a platformer. You know, that one was more of a cinematic experience, right? It's definitely a difference. But the fact of the matter is, the both games similar fucking play hours.
Yeah.
One is getting vastly superior, vastly more shit than the other, right? It seems weird to me, and then that's just me
It
going
is
off
weird.
of a sector, like I'm looking at it like that, right? Where I'm not looking at it with an eyes of like a Sony or an Xbox. You know, I can
for sure.
100% state that this game looks solid. I would love to play it. I'm sure that I would have an enjoyable time with it. But again, like I said, I'm sure I would have a good time with both of them, honestly. But
Yeah,
think
the
that
only thing I can say about it is, as far as fanboyism and stuff goes, between like people, like the difference in treatment between this game and Hellblade as far as like length goes and stuff like that. At the end of the day, that hostile fanboy bullshit of PlayStation fanboys talking shit one way, Xbox fanboys talking one shit the other, doesn't really matter if the game itself isn't appealing to its own fan base. And that is a huge differentiator between what Astrobot's doing, given what all's going on, and what Hellblade is doing. Xbox people very well could have just ignored the slander for the game, and then they might have loved it and whatnot. But something about that game, whether it was the length, whether it was the content of the game, did not generate plays.
it's also that
This
it
is-
didn't generate hype. Like they didn't fucking what's it
There's
called,
no
advertise
They
marketing
didn't
at
market it
all.
at
Yeah,
all.
so
Yeah,
it's-
so
that's one of the bigger issues. Like obviously that's one of the more, you know,
Also-
And I think
strenuous
that
issues
also
of
like
entire
misled
thing.
people to what the game was going for in the second one.
One of the
Yeah,
things
but-
too to clear air too, right? We're not, but nobody is saying that this game bad, Hellblade bad, like at least on our cast, right? Like what I think Enigma and I are kind of referencing aren't just like the general player base. Like there are, but it, and Bill, I think you're absolutely right. Like if you like the game, like if you look, if you love Hellblade like Cinema Saga, you're like great, like happy for you, man. Like if this like there, I can tell you right now, I've been watching the gameplay this entire time, and I am thoroughly impressed with like the amount of detail, the different design characteristics, like all of the different things that the game is doing. Being like, yeah, you know what, they nailed. Like, I would say
And
that
it
if I was
goes-
Nintendo, I would look at this and go, motherfucker, like they just out Mario.
it goes
this.
beyond
Like,
what you're seeing here too, because like, not to get back, like to deviate from what you're trying to say, even the music is interactive in a way. Like as you're traversing through this level, you make the tree in the beginning, it sings to you. Then you go through each different area, and the different, like these little flowers that are floating out here that are the platforms, they're singing in the chorus now because you're near them. Whenever you were in the beehive, the bees are buzzing to the beat of the song and stuff. Like there's that level of interactivity,
Yeah.
like auditorily from the controller, from the gameplay itself. It's wild to me.
So I don't want anybody in the fucking comments being like Enigma and Sin fucking hate Sony. They're always motherfucker. I got a $500 or system
I mean,
sitting
that's
right over
accurate.
here.
I'm not a big
I-
fan of Sony,
like,
but that's
but
that's beside the
what
point.
I think that the review, and I can say this for the entire show, like we do not like reviewers on this show as far as like the mainstream cinema reviewer bullshit, or game like review sites.
We talked about it last week. Fucking
Yeah.
what's
PC
it called?
Gamer. PC
Marines.
Gamer.
Space Marine 2 gets a fucking 60, while
Yeah.
Golem got a fucking or a 63 or something like that, while Golem got like a 72 or some shit.
They don't represent the actual gamers at all.
So
Crazy,
this
man.
game looks, and I'm seeing messages in chat and stuff like that. Like we are by no means saying like, hey, this game is dog shit. This game is. I just asked a general question because again, I saw a $60 price tag, and I'm like, I don't know, and that might be an issue that Sony maybe should clear up with like a marketing thing of being like, hey, like, this really is what we have. Like maybe allow for a demo to be played so that you can kind of get in there and kind of really, get your hands
There
on it.
literally is a demo
Is
in
there?
the PlayStation 5 that you bought.
I know
That is the demo for
I
this
get
game.
that, but that's not this game. So the argument there though is that like
it is this
can,
game. This
it's-
game is a much higher fidelity and much higher detail.
So then at that point, I can flip this argument and say, okay, then why do I need to spend $60 if I already have 3 hours worth of content? And that technically, if I wanted to be that asshole, I could be like, well, technically that's half of this game, so I can save myself $60 and play through it twice.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so
I
I'm
mean,
just saying.
you can.
And I
But I feel like if you enjoyed that 3 hours, you would want, like, if you enjoyed the 3 hours of Astro's Playroom and wanted more content, I don't see where you would then short yourself by speed running through the game to just say, hey, I beat it in 6 hours.
I'm not. I'm just saying that I think that there's things that I wanted more out of like that, and I don't know here. Like obviously seeing your gameplay, watching you, I'm like, okay, cool, right? But it and again, guys, this just may not be for me. Like I'm not knocking this game at all. Like it looks amazing. It looks like it sounds beautiful. Like everything you're gushing, and I'm happy for everybody, man. I'm happy that this game is fucking good.
It's one of those things that watching it doesn't do it justice, I don't think. But I also understand that it's kid game coded. So if that's not your kind of thing, if you've grown past the platformer phase of things or just never liked them to begin with, I can understand where this would be a pass for you. For me, I love that shit. When the Spyro trilogy came out, you guys know I did a 24-hour stream 100%ing all of those. This is my kind of shit. This hits me like right here in the heart, and I am enjoying every second that I play it.
And they should, and I'm happy.
There's a lot
that
of sus looking things in this game. I'm sorry to point that out. What is this dingly mushroom thing? What's going on?
Mushroom.
It's just a fucking mushroom, you dirty bastard. What the fuck?
I'm sorry, man. Part of the PP podcast.
Anyway, I am very I'm ecstatic that we actually have a game that we can talk about, like, because we've had a couple of those over the last couple of months or weeks that have really been like, hey, this game is extremely good. You've got this, you've got Space Marine 2, you've got Black Myth Wukong. What I like the WoW expansion. Like it's been a really good set of just solid weeks, and I'm ecstatic for being a gamer. Like that makes me happy. I just had questions again about the price point and
for sure, and that's understandable.
I mean, it looks like a solid game. The price point, it just might be a little steep, just because like I don't know. I mean, like
I don't know, man. Like I'm thinking
before we tell the quality and everything is there.
Before we get too deep into it, like we're getting stuff like length of game doesn't necessarily dictate quality. That's like 100. We're not arguing with that. I'm not stating that they are correct when it comes down to that. I found it kind of funny that it was one game was generally the same time frame, got a shit ton of fucking bad reviews for being that time frame, but this one generally being the same time frame. getting nothing but praise pretty much. It's
I
weird.
don't know.
It's
I
fucking
think
weird.
this game would have thrived even if it was down to like maybe even $50. I think it would even gained sales off of that. I don't know. It's a beautiful game. I think it's very well crafted just from the looks of it. I personally I would probably pay the 60, but I think there's a lot of people who are just stuck behind that threshold of that $60 price point. But I don't know.
I mean,
I doubt it. I'm
didn't
pretty
blink
sure
an eye
that.
at it.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I was about to say.
myself.
When it comes down to like PlayStation and PlayStation players, they're gonna buy it regardless, just because it is PlayStation.
Yeah,
So-
and I don't think Bill, I don't think that you're that audience that maybe like Scruffy is talking about, like where I like, for instance, I am one of those like you saw it, you knew it, you were like, this is on my 100%, I'm gonna play this, I'm gonna grab it, I want it, right? That is the audience. Awesome. This is like your fucking bread and butter jam. Love it. Oh, they're speaking to your heart. That's great.
Yeah.
The
Well,
things
for it,
that
man.
like the things that I think Scruffy is hitting toward is more of the player like me. Like if this game was $40, I would have hit it all day long, right? I would have been like,
Mhm.
yep, absolutely, I'll fucking drop 40 right now, right? For the game. Not saying that it should be 40. I'm just saying that if it was 40, I would have bought it. At 60, I now go into, especially when the economy is dog shit or whatever, it's like, hey, like $60. That is X amount of months of WoW for me, or that is another game that
I don't know, bro. I think you'd have a fucking better
Shut
deal
up.
playing
I'm
this than
just
WoW.
saying in
Just
general,
gonna
like-
put that out there.
But that is and again, it's
Yeah.
not knocking this game specifically for it. I'm just I guess my whole thing was like, again, if it's worth $60 for you, awesome, and I'm happy that it seems like there is at least a decent amount of content there, or good enough of content to warrant the pricing, and the game is phenomenal. So happy.
I'll just put it out there right now. The last thing that I'll say about it, I watched you play a lot of this. Well, not a ton of it. I think I watched you play up until like the middle of the zone. Loved it. I was enjoying it the entire time. So like I'm not saying the game's bad. Game looks fun, looks enjoyable. If I had a PlayStation, I'd probably play it.
And
Yeah,
kudos,
for sure.
honestly,
Agreed.
I want the rest of the gaming industry to take note of stuff like this. You make a good game. You make a game. I said it last week. I'll say it again. Game good. Like game
game.
worth money. Good
Equals
game.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People play.
Mhm.
Bad
Yeah.
game. People don't
People
play.
don't play. So I'm just saying, like,
And the best
it's
thing for me about
perfect.
it is I can plug my disc in and play it without an internet connection. It's 100% there on the disc, and that is wonderful. But
So they take your disc play drive away from you, Bill.
Yeah.
and we'll get to that later. But they also do have a roadmap for post-launch support with the game. They're going to be adding bonus missions and stuff like bonus
That's
levels,
dope.
bonus
That's cool.
characters. They're also going to be
Is
adding
that-
a like
now
leaderboards and a
that-
speed run mode that
Did
you
they
can
say
do.
it was going to be free content or
It's all free
paid?
content. Yep.
And
That's what I was gonna ask, yeah.
Is a huge plus. I mean that could definitely justify the $60.
So
in my
this,
case,
if they can go down that route and
Yeah.
they can kind of garner the, what would be really cool is if they went
Like
down
Mario
the
Maker?
Sackboy route. No, well that
Mhm.
too, yeah. But if they went down to like the Sackboy route where they allowed people to like
Community.
make the
Well, that's
the
also
actual
like Mario
things,
Maker. Yeah.
Mhm.
would be huge, dude.
Yeah.
Would be
I
fucking
agree.
huge, dude.
I don't know if they'll do it, but it would.
I don't
be
think they
huge.
will, but,
It
it
But
would
as
be
of
fucking
right
fucking
now, what they've got planned
Ambitious,
is
but yeah.
bonus characters with bonus
Nice.
for bonus levels and speed running of levels to unlock bonus characters as well and global leaderboards.
You think
so?
you think they'll add in extra bots as their new IPs come into play?
I
Like they'll
wouldn't
add
be
in new IP bots?
I wouldn't be
Either that
surprised.
or this is their new
What fucking new IP?
mascot. They're this is not going to be the first game in the franchise.
That's actually what I was going to ask, and leading up to closing Astrobot's book, at least for the pre-batch podcast right now, so we can move on to other topics. But
Yeah.
I have two questions for you, Bill, and one is going off of what Scruffy just said. Do you is this Mario level mascot? Because I feel like Sony has been hunting for this. They had God of War for a while. Kratos was it for a long time. Last of Us for whatever fucking reason.
Those are a lot more mature mascots, though. I think
that's-
this is your global mascot, and I think
Right.
For sure.
I think that they have something here, genuinely. I think
Okay.
the Astrobots, maybe not necessarily the character itself, but like the botized versions of the Sony franchise. Like
It's their pops, their Funkos of
they're
Sony.
Funkos, they're Legos,
It's
that kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, man. And it's definitely friendly. It's that mascot image that I could. I'm not a big Sony fanboy anymore, but I can see it. I think they did find what they were looking for finally.
Good. Good for them. Again, I mean, like I said, they
Yeah.
tried doing Crash Bandicoot a long time. Like Crash was it for a while back in the 90s and early 2000s, and you had God of War, Last of Us, and now and Sackboy. Sackboy had its run, but I think it was it was killed off pretty quick.
Yeah. This is like Sackboy, but effective.
Cool.
In my opinion.
Here's my last question with this. So you played what the same game that I'm playing, which is right now probably the number one contender for game of the year, as far as like the award show that's going to go, not our pre
Space Marine too,
right? Okay, sure, Space Marine. Okay, but anyway, do you played them both? Do you think? And I don't get necessarily give it away, but do you think this has the chops to put Black Myth Wukong away and this be the game of the year?
It will definitely be in the conversation.
With Sony behind it, yeah.
It'll definitely be in the conversation.
I had to say it because we obviously know there has been some Sony bias.
I mean, if Spider-Man 2 was in the game of the year running last year, then this is definitely going to be in game of the year running this year.
Do you think that this has the chops to put it down?
Potentially. I don't. Okay. Potentially.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk about that. I guess in a couple months.
Stick around for the Game of the Year podcast.
Yeah. You know what's really the shitty thing about that too is because if this does take it, it probably totally does deserve it. But all it's gonna get, and even from it's gonna be Sony pay them. Sony this, Sony that.
I mean, it's let me. I've not touched this fucking game at all. Yeah. And obviously, I've watched Bill play it. But it's gonna be fucking hard to swallow Black Myth Wukong getting fucking ousted. By any game. Like I don't give a fuck whether it's. I mean, again, not saying that this doesn't deserve it, but
true. Yeah, any
fuck
game,
me, man.
But I'm just saying, if this takes it, that's coming, and it might.
Let's be real.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's be real. Neither of these games, Black Myth Wukong or this, are going to fucking win it. It's going to be Space Marine 2.
You're fucking high.
You know what?
And or fucking Helldivers 2. Let's be real.
It's Helldivers.
It's going to be Helldivers 2.
Well, then they'll still get the Sony pony fanboyism that's going to come with it. So, all right. Well, that wraps up the games because I don't think anybody else has anything for the show. So we're going to move into the news section and talk about something that we have waited so long to talk about. I am super excited to have this conversation because it is a very interesting one, and we are talking about Rainbow Six Siege Twin Shells Operator drop that happened I think today or yesterday. Like it literally yesterday. It literally just dropped.
Well, good timing, Bill.
Yeah, and I will say, as so far so good, the season feels really good.
Really,
and I think they finally got the anti-cheat working.
Did they?
Wow, and that's coming off of last season, which was touted to be like one of the worst in a long time.
It was one of the worst in a long time. So they're doing something new with the anti-cheats to kind of kick off what the new season is bringing, where they've. Believe it or not, they didn't have encryption on their coding up until this point. So now the code is actually going to shuffle and encrypt as the
live.
game is being live, so that cheats are not going to be able to. Cheats aren't going to be able to latch onto code as easily because the game is going to be constantly shuffling and encrypting its code. So the fact that wasn't the case up until now,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, nobody knew that until they announced it.
That's fucking.
Why would you even announce that? Why would you that's not just stupid in terms of the game and the fairness of the game. That's you're not encrypting fucking information for people. Yeah,
that's weird. That's
so
rough.
This is it's year 9, season 3, right? I think
think so.
I think
Twin
that is
Shell.
I'm pretty sure it's Y9SO3 is what I keep seeing. So that's year 9, season 3. So yes, I'm actually reading it right off here. Year 9, season 3. All right, so year 9, season 3. obviously the anti-cheat stuff, but the big thing that they brought is the new defender operator,
Right.
which
Scobos.
is Scobos. And this is a handy-capable operator. They're in a wheelchair, and they are the way that they interact in the game, because I don't want to get into the whole meme bullshit that was out there, which was terrible, but is there are two bots essentially that Scobos has control over. They are robotic bots, and you operate them independently, but you have to
Yes.
kill them both to fully eliminate
False.
Scope. What?
No. That's
No.
false.
You don't have
yeah,
to kill them
so-
both?
Nope.
You just have to kill the one that is being controlled.
Yeah.
Oh, I could have
It'll
said
it'll,
okay.
it'll
that's
kill
what-
so
Scobos
the
for
way
the
that-
rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way the Scopus works is there's the two bots. One is in deployable shield camera mode, so it's
Yep.
basically a bulletproof camera that's also a deployable shield. And then the other one is running around like a standard operator. You can switch back and forth between them at will. They both have independent health bars. They both have independent ammo counts. But if the one that you are controlling gets downed, then you are eliminated. Your camera drone, like your shield drone or bot, will still be there unless it's taken out, but you won't be able to like activate it and make it run around as an operator once the one you're controlling gets taken
So in
down.
what
Yeah.
in
So-
what point would you
So sorry,
not-
Sin. I thought you knew that.
No.
That is what the first initial reaction and everybody swarmed at, like, what, one operator, two lives, like that's not fair, and it's just like, but that's not the case at all.
Well, my question is that, like, technically, wouldn't you have two lives? I mean, how fast can you swap between the two? Like, if you're getting in a fucking firefight, can you swap really quickly before
Yeah,
you die?
there-
Or is
there-
it-
Even
there-
if you swap and you leave your bot there and they kill it, then
No,
it's,
so once you're swapped, if they destroy that
you're
bot,
on, you're
it
on
doesn't
another
matter.
one, right?
Yeah.
Right, but how
Oh,
fast?
okay.
But technically, you do have two
kind
lives.
of.
Not really. Well, I guess you have to think of this in Rainbow Six Siege like mindset. If the bot gets headshot,
let me-
you're
let
not
me
going to
get
be able to
dumb real
swap.
quick.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
the time to kill in this game is extremely quickly. But if you
You-
are quick enough,
It's not
you
quick
technically
enough.
have to.
It's not quick enough to like in the middle of a gunfight, like you're getting shot to just like
Okay.
hit the swap
It does
button and
look-
go. It's
yeah.
about 2 seconds. To
So it
fully
has
swap.
it has a small. Okay, that was the
Alright.
question that I was asking. Was like,
Yeah.
how quick can you just
about-
like
it's about
instantly when
2
you when you start
seconds.
getting fucked,
Gotcha.
you could just like
So-
bam go.
Then
and
I was a
swap.
little unaware too, because I definitely thought, like, when you die, like if your bot that's not active does die, then you also go down, kind of like
No.
you're protecting. You have to
No.
protect it or be
But I-
aware of it.
Nope,
I
you
could-
just lose the ability to swap to it.
So I
Okay.
could get into a gunfight where I'm at 6 health and then pop the corner, pop down, and then swap to my now technically what could be full health
Yeah.
robot, correct?
Correct. That is
Yeah.
correct. Yes. Or
But
if you
also-
win your gunfight and then you go down to 6 health, you could swap to your bot and have
Yeah.
a full health
full
operator.
I will
health
again.
say
bot.
there is also a
So-
con though that I do know to be true, that you cannot be like healed by, like, say, like a doc or
there's
like
no-
anybody
yeah.
else who
You're a
heals.
robot.
So
No
you're a
healing, can't
robot,
wear
no
rook
healing,
plates to expand your health
yep.
pool.
It'd be
So,
hilarious if they made it so like Bandit, Cade, or anything like that that's electrified. You could just walk up and get healed that way. Fucking just
That would
or
be
like
that would be
overcharged or something.
That would be pretty
That would be
interesting.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I mean I have not yet had a chance to play it. I am again, the feedback that I am getting is it's really good. I'm also, what I like probably more than anything about the way that the operator looks and plays, and I'm seeing people now talk about it, but my first interaction was some of the setups that you'll be able to do with this is going to be wild, and I also am wondering if it's going to also cause issues with some of early Siege. Like, you could get out of the map if you put down a barricade, and then like you could figure out a way to like jump and mantle the barricade to pop yourself outside the map. I'm wondering if that kind of stuff does start to exist.
I'm sure there'll be something coming out of
I
this.
don't imagine it's going to be anything worse than what we have with Azami, because she has
Yeah.
the barricades that you can throw down and then vault over. So any
It's true.
movement text or anything like that Azami can do, she should be able to do it more egregiously than what Scopos could do.
Yeah. It's pretty dope that I think it's expanding the gameplay, because it's giving you another element of like, hey, like you can you essentially have a deployable shield as a character in a spot that like almost like an Osa, but a little bit different. I don't know. Like I think
Mhm.
I think
It
it's cool,
is.
right? It adds a
It
huge
is
element.
cool. And the thing I like about it is it's being able to play both the tank or the anchor and the roaming role in one operator if you're good enough at it. You can set your Scopos up on site, and then you can take the other one off site. You can do your roam, maybe get into a gunfight or two, potentially get somebody taken out, but waste enemy time. And
Yeah.
then if you get low enough health or you get the kill that you were looking for, you just swap back to site. Or if they start pushing site from an angle that you aren't at, there's no risk. You don't have to worry about running back to site. You can just swap over to your bot as long as they haven't taken the site and took your bot down. Now you're in the fight.
It
How-
looks they look challenging. It looks like there's a pretty steep learning curve with this op, to be
How
honest.
loud are the mechanics switching? Like them going into that mode? Is it pretty
It's loud. It's loud.
Yeah.
It's loud as fuck. Like you
Okay.
can hear from like 2 rooms away of them, like the gears unhinging and like the
That's
shield
good.
coming down.
Because that
Like you know the noise of when you're deploying a deployable shield.
yeah.
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 It sounds a lot like that whenever they're
Okay.
getting up, like that shield going down and going behind them.
Okay.
And they're
'Cause-
completely vulnerable as they're going through that animation. So if you catch them while
That's
they're
why
swapping,
switching on the go is very tough.
they're a free kill. Or if
Yeah.
somebody's cheeky and puts a claymore up behind your Scopos, and then you switch back to it, you instantly
Oh
die.
yeah.
Because of the
Yeah, I've
claymore.
also seen people like attackers use Scobos, like inactive Scobos' shields as their own covers, which is a crazy play.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so,
because
like, it
there's
could
no
be-
risk to it. Because if they do swap to it, you just take them out.
Yeah, you just take them
Yeah.
out. Yeah, so it's an interesting op for sure to add.
Yeah.
outside
Also,
of
one
that,
thing I do want to add about the operator herself is I didn't know this until like recently. I guess she is a character from Rainbow Six lore, like from past games. She was in Rogue Spear and Raven Shield.
cool.
Didn't know that.
So I don't know if any of you guys have played those games, but she is an established Rainbow Six character.
Not for the
coming
lore.
into
I
Siege.
don't. I don't know. I mean, I did, like here's what I think with the lore, right? The moment that you start adding Rick and fucking Morty and WWE skins into it, the whole lore thing for me goes out
Yeah.
the
Or
fucking
goes out
window.
the fucking window.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I take skins out of
Yeah,
I
Skins
I don't
aren't-
know.
if I
Skins aren't
No,
meant to-
I
aren't
get it. I'm just saying
canon.
the moment that I start
Yeah.
seeing fucking Morty walking around, I'm like, all right, so here we are. And I got
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey fucking throwing a damn impact grenade in my face.
Fair enough. They also brought a new gun in. So Scopus gets a new gun. It's an AR. Fairly slow rate of fire, but it does hit like an AR, so it's a decent gun for
is that that
defense.
is that that bullpip gun I've been seeing?
Yeah, it's bullpup, but it has like the skeleton
Yeah.
frame to it. It's a
Yeah,
really
yeah.
nifty like looking gun, and it
looks
looks
very futuristic.
yeah, it goes well with like the robot theme. but-
Totally.
Did they add anything else? Any other big changes or things that
They
happened?
reworked a few operators. Nuck can now have her gadget on infinitely as long as she's not sprinting, vaulting, or doing like weird stuff. So she
I know
can be
Solos got a big change.
Yeah, Solus, you don't see gadget. Like you can see the gadget, but you can't tell what the gadget is until you like do your ping, and you only get 3 of those pings now instead of it being on a charger.
Which is good. I think that she was busted.
and she still can't use her goggles during prep phase to like drone hunt. So
Good.
She has to wait until after prep phase to actually use her gadget. So
Cool. Yeah, awesome.
not Dokkaebi can't call until 45 seconds into the round.
That's
now,
also
so.
fucking huge, and I think she only
So you
gets
can't-
That's huge.
You can't
There's
use
something-
Dokkaebi for rushing. It's not enough. She's still broken. Dokkaebi, and I've ranted so much to my friends that are playing the game still. They're probably sick of hearing it. Dokkaebi is the only operator in the game that has 3 fucking abilities on one goddamn operator. She has the calls that make your phone vibrate. She
Yeah.
can take over your fucking cameras, and
Her
she kicks you
cameras,
out
yeah.
of cameras whenever you're on a camera. Like that is
Yeah.
so fucking dumb.
Can't she do something with Scobos too? Does she have something that whenever she hacks the cameras or hacks some shit, can't she hack Scobos or something?
No,
Can-
that's
can she-
Brava.
Oh.
Brava
I
can.
thought-
Yeah.
I thought I read something. Can she shut down his or the new ones bots that are on cameras?
Brava can.
That's
Brava,
what I
if
thought. Okay.
yeah, if she hacks the bot whenever it's in shield mode, it goes into an overheat cycle. You, the
Okay.
player, get notified that your bot's overheating, and you can either swap to it to stop the overheat, or you just let it die. It takes
Wait.
about 5 seconds for it
Interesting.
to overheat.
Does Scobus use a cell phone, a phone for the cams?
It's got an iPad on its wrist, so
Oh, okay.
it'll still drop an iPad if it dies.
Because I was gonna say that would be
for
super
Dokkaebi,
silly.
Yeah, for Dokkaebi, if you kill the shielded one, I'm pretty sure it drops a phone too, so you don't even have to kill the actual operator to get a phone to get access to cams.
You just got
Oh.
two robots walking around with fucking
And-
iPhones in their
That's
pocket.
what I was gonna. I feel
And-
like that's
and if you
really
do-
silly, dude.
And if you Dokkaebi call, it makes a big fucking Dokkaebi symbol like show up on the operators, like in the middle of the operator's view. It's real
That's
fucking
kind of
annoying.
cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Awesome. Well, coming off of the Deimos update, which I thought was going to be an amazing update, I thought it was pretty
Well,
lackluster.
the Deimos update was fine. It was the recruit update.
I don't. Well, yeah, that's right. I forgot. Recruit was the last update technically. I don't know. I didn't like the
Mhm.
Deimos one as much, but Recruit was definitely fucking boring as hell to me. I did not like that update at all. I am excited to kind of get in here and mess around with the new ops and stuff like that. So it's being asked. Rainbow Six Siege night again soon. Absolutely, we'll have to lock it in at some point. So
Oh, for sure. For
Oh,
sure.
right.
Definitely.
Well, that is Rainbow Six Siege. Like I said, we've been waiting a while to talk about it. We talked about Black Ops 6 last week. We're gonna, no shocker, it's in the news this week, and it's not good. This is coming to us from Eurogamer.net. But if you pre-order the Black Ops 6 game, you are not going to get the campaign early, which has kind of been a staple for it for like the last at least 2 years, for sure.
It's so weird. Like,
But they are taking it away. You are not going to get early access to the Black Ops 6.
I don't understand the reasoning behind it. Like, what purpose comes from denying the single player to the early access player base?
I
Are they just
guarantee
wanting
you
to
the
boost
reason
multiplayer
why.
numbers like off the rip?
No,
like,
no.
this many players are in our multiplayer service during the
It's very
pre-play.
possible. But I guarantee you what the issue is that it's probably only like a 2-hour campaign. And they don't want to have people completely fucking finish the campaign and spoil it.
And then there's like, I'm sure it's a small group of players that only play the game for the campaign and then
Yep.
call it again. So they play it during early access, finish it, and
then
then
never play it
refund
again.
it or never
Yeah.
play it again.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
how
valid.
long did it take us to finish that? We finished the campaign, Scruffy, when we did that race, right?
It's like 4 hours, maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't
or
very
4. Wasn't long.
very.
You want to talk about hours for value? Shit.
Yeah, here we go. No, but no, I could see that being definitely a reason.
I bet you that's a good reason.
Oh, that makes perfect sense, and I didn't even think about it.
Pre-order, early access. Nothing mentions like you'll still get the campaign once the game drops on Game Pass, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Imagine.
I mean, you still
I'd
Game Pass
This
will
is
still give you.
just
You just
early
don't get anything
access and
early
pre-order.
access.
Yeah.
In
Just
fact, I
like
don't
the
even know.
multiplayer.
I don't even know what the fuck you get if you do pre-order the game. Do you get anything like Big Boy or any of that shit? Like, let's
Probably just like some
let's look it up.
multiplayer
Pre-order
stuff.
Black Ops 6. I just because
Probably
like at
get,
this
a
point,
3-day early access, and
I'm wondering what is the fucking.
You get Wood Operators pack, a Reflect
Yo.
115 camo pack, Hunter versus Hunter operator pack. You get a bunch of packs. It looks like.
yeah.
You get access to their season 1 bullshit. Their
Season 1,
yeah,
and then
so
you
they're-
get so it's just like a bunch of skins essentially.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
is zero reason to fucking pre-purchase that.
There is zero reason to buy this game at all.
I agree
Just play it on
completely,
fucking
but
Game
yeah,
Pass
Just
if you
play
want
Game
it. Like,
Pass.
I don't.
I agree completely.
Do not get. I mean, it is wild to me at all that they. I don't know. And the reason that obviously, so this was in here, and we kind of discussed like whether this could be a quick hit or not. Here's my thing, right? Like, it very much. Do you guys remember the days of like pre-ordering a game and getting really dope shit because like you were an early adopter of something and
Dude,
it being
yeah.
like really cool?
Yes.
And going, you got actual physical shit too, man. Like you would line up in lines to get the game on launch day, and I got like
Art
posters on the
books,
wall
fucking
and art
posters,
books, dude.
yeah.
Dude.
You
There's so
know-
much more excitement and joy out of it. Now it's just like microtransaction shit that
I mean,
you'll
I
get in
just-
a Twitch drop later, like in a few months.
You have the same level with like you know, obviously like World of Warcraft and the War Within, like pay big bucks, get 3-day early access, right, to the game. I again, to me that should be just be a pre-order thing. Like, hey, if you pre-order the game and you like the game up until like X amount of days, like you get early access. It really feels like they are just like in this, they are 100% just being like, I don't like, this is the laziest version of pre-order like big boy edition
Call of
I
Duty,
have
man.
ever seen. It's wild.
Welcome to Call
me.
of Duty.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of Ubisoft and Star Wars Outlaws or Outlaw.
Welcome to Call of Duty, man.
Yeah, it's not just Call of Duty though. Like it's guys, it's not. I mean, it's not like every other. I mean, NBA 2K. I don't think they gave you any kind of early access. Like you're pre-ordering. Like yeah, you get the bigger edition gives you some coin or whatever. I don't think that. I mean, I think Diablo 4 did give you early access. I don't know if the new Spirit Vessel of Hatred or whatever the fuck the new one is, Spiritborn or whatever, if that gives you early access.
I don't think it does.
Like it's just sad, man. It's just sad that just companies are just kind of like, nah, you don't get shit. Like eventually it's just gonna be like games are $100. Like take it or leave it. That's it.
Unless you have Game Pass.
Well, unless you have Game Pass.
Yeah,
And
but then Game Pass is gonna be like $30 a month.
Yeah, then they're just gonna keep fucking racking
Yeah,
the
just gonna
price
keep
up and up
upping.
and up and
Yeah.
up and up.
There's gonna be special. Hey, another edition for Game Pass, but you get multiplayer for Call of Duty for $50 a month. You know?
Yeah. All right. Well, before we get into the rest of the Sony stuff that's going on, let's talk about Blue Protocol. You guys remember we talked about Blue Protocol 2 weeks ago? I don't even think it lasted 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked
Yeah.
about Blue Protocol 2 weeks ago and getting shut down. Blue Protocol is an MMO that was coming out, was supposed to come out, and it was supposed to be published and worked on by Amazon Studios. Why am I blanking on the name? Bandai Namco killed it.
And Namco. Yep.
And killed the Japanese version of the game, the Eastern version of the
Worldwide.
game. Well, Tencent took it upon itself to go, okay, that's cool. We're gonna come out with Blue Protocol Star Resonance.
Well, to be completely like transparent, this has been in development for 2.5 years. So it's not like Tencent was like, oh, you canceled the fucking game. Okay, well we'll just release this.
It was just
Well,
it was
that's-
just timing.
that's not the
timing
case.
was-
real
yeah.
weird that
The timing is interesting. It is, but
Yeah.
this game has been in development by Tencent.
Was this
for
always
like
under
2.5
the
years.
name Blue Protocol Star Resonance?
Yeah.
Is that like the
Yes.
official like?
So
Okay.
is Blue
Yes.
Protocol something completely like let me I guess this will help me.
Blue
is
Protocol is
its
an
own IP?
anime.
Okay, so it is an
Yeah,
anime.
it's
It's
an
got its own
anime.
IP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
I thought Blue
it's
Protocol was
okay.
was Bandai Namco's own shit, and they're just like, nah, fuck it, we'll take that name. Like that works.
No, Blue
Okay.
Blue Protocol is its own. Like it has an anime. It has, as far as I know, at least it has an anime. Let me go and check.
I don't know nothing about Blue Protocol, so
It's an established IP outside,
It is an
like an
established
independent
IP,
IP. Yeah.
All right. Well, then that
Gotcha.
makes me at least feel a little bit better because I legit
Right.
thought Tencent just yoinked that shit in 2 weeks' time. I was like, damn. Like,
Well, the thing
that's
is, this
some
is also and
ruthless-
this is also supposed to be an MMO, right?
Yeah. So
a
this
PC
this
and
is
mobile
a
MMO.
so this is a this is like Genshin essentially.
That's what I'm getting, yeah.
There's a lot of like comparisons to Genshin. You're one character per account. You'll be happy about this. Or saying it has ultra wide support. It's been
Woohoo!
confirmed.
Thank God.
There you go.
Art
Sin's
style
gonna
is very
pre-order.
similar. Art style is very similar to the JP version, which I find is really weird. It's like they canceled it, but like the art style is really the same from what I'm
Oh,
hearing.
yeah.
It's just a mobile version. It's gonna be like Honkai Star Rail and like Genshin and everything like that. So they're saying that the combat's gonna be really fast paced. They're gonna have a lot of options for like character customization, so like clothing, accessories, stuff like that. They even say fucking mouth accessories. I don't know what that fucking means.
What?
That's weird.
Whoa. Okay.
Yikes.
That's what I always play a game
Mouth
for, the mouth
accessories.
accessories.
Yeah.
I have mouth accessories. I got races. That's mouth, accessories.
accessories, bro. Yeah,
That might be what
it's,
they're talking about, like a brace face anime girl.
Maybe
it's possible.
Maybe.
It even has like the same like
I hope.
the same classes, like the spearman, the magic rings, an ice staff for an ice wizard. It's got
Do you think
like
got
a
the
bow
elements.
hunter.
I wonder if they well, I mean, I don't know. It's so hard and we're never gonna know, right? Like obviously the development of this could be 2 years, but fuck, that could be something completely different. It could we like they could have been developing something completely on the opposite end of the spectrum, and then this kind of got shut down and Tencent go, hey man, Bandai Namco, we'll give you a fucking shit ton of your money. Like, can we?
I mean,
can we yoink some of
while,
this?
while yes, I would agree with you. The turnaround time would be an insane turnaround time. Like
Yeah.
you said, we literally talked about this 2 weeks ago. Like that would be
It's just
for 10
weird,
even
man.
for Tencent, that would be an extremely fast turnaround time. Like that would be crazy.
That'd be
I don't know,
a
man.
crazy play. Or Tencent just buys out
So-
Bandai Namco's Blue Protocol. Like, hey, shut your shit down. We'll pay you money so we can launch ours.
Is this already out in Japan?
I don't believe so. No, this is it's in beta right now. They have had a beta, or they've had 2 betas, I believe. They're on their 3rd beta right now.
Because like the
so-
stuff that's being said on here, and like I'm reading the article that's on here, it's like additional beta test is confirmed. Note to ETA, there'll be a 4 test, blah blah blah. But it's like the art style is very similar to the JP version, but the models have been adjusted and look similar in characters.
They're
other
talking
mobile
about
games.
the JP version of the MMO,
regular
the
Blue Protocol?
Blue Protocol's MMO. Yeah, they're talking about the art style is extremely similar. The play style is extremely similar. I get where you're coming from with it, and I thought the same thing.
So they
When
already
this-
have
when
an
this
MMO,
got-
a Blue Protocol MMO?
Yeah,
No,
that's
they were
been out in Japan
that's
for a
what
long
we were
time.
developed. That they no,
No,
they
you're
they were
talking about Bandai
developing one.
Namco's?
Yeah,
Oh my god, the name.
Okay.
Okay,
Bro.
Tencent's Blue Protocol. Let's call it Star Resonance. Okay, Bandai
Star
Namco
Resonance
had fucking Blue
looks
Protocol.
very similar to Bandai Namco's Blue Protocol
Okay.
MMO.
I
Is
think
what
that
is
has
what I'm
been out for a
for me
understanding.
is I
while.
forgot that was already out in Japan, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Bandai
yes.
Namco's has been
There.
out for like 8 months in Japan.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Or 6 months.
Gotcha.
But
Wow.
as I was saying that I had that same thought process when Pika
Yeah.
posted this in our Discord. I was like, this is fucking bullshit. Essentially, they were like, scrap the fucking Bandai Namco one. Tencent will make one better, and it'll be a gotcha, and we can slap as many and microtransactions into it as possible, right? But no, this again, like I said, this has been in development supposedly for 2 years, so that kind of goes out the window. It's still very again,
know-
like you said, the timing is still very interesting.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think this is starting to, I'm getting kind of the, like you walk by the dumpster, you get that whiff of just hot ass garbage,
Mm.
right? I'm getting a whiff of some shit where I'm like, I really do wonder if Bandai Namco was getting pressured from Blue Protocol, the actual, like the people that own the IP, and being like, hey, Amazon is a bunch of dickheads, right? And they are asking for too much. They want too much. This is bullshit, right? So shut this shit down. We're not making enough money or whatever. And we know that Tencent is banging out an MMO, and we're gonna get published through them. They're gonna go through their shit or whatever, and we're good. Like, just shut this shit down. We'll launch this one and we'll go. Like, I really wonder, because the way that this, now knowing that this is an IP that's already been in development or already a thing, an existing IP, that means that their license agreement, right? They have a lot more control over this than what I thought. I thought this was Bandai Namco making their own shit, and then they were getting, suckered in by Amazon. I'm now wondering if Bandai Namco was kind of like the married wife, Amazon's the side chick, and then whoever owns the Blue Protocol license was like, yo, I'm out. Like, I'm gonna go over here and get it from Tencent because it's cheaper. I mean, I
Yeah,
know
I
I'm
don't know. I
conspiracy
think-
theory, man, but like, it
I
just
was about to say that's a lot of conspiracy right there, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
PP predicts,
even-
man. I'm
Sure.
telling you, it's gonna come out.
And that,
It
no,
could,
that
I
won't
mean,
come
sure.
out. I doubt that'll come out if that's the case.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
But yeah,
am
so
wondering.
I don't know, man. Like, I was sad when Blue Protocol got shut down. So the fact that they're bringing out something at least
Are you
is
excited
good.
about this one?
I
Even if
wouldn't
it's
say
a
I'm
gacha?
excited. Yeah, I was going to
Because
say I
it's a
wouldn't say I'm
gacha
excited
and-
because it's
I
a
am. I love
gacha game and I
gacha,
don't play
I
gacha
fucking
games
love
really.
'em.
Especially if it runs the same as like Genshin Impact. I fucking cannot stand Genshin Impact. I don't like the having to switch between characters. Just give me one fucking character. and let me play
Well, it
that.
sounds
I
like
don't
that's what that
I don't
is.
like that shit.
It sounded like you have one character.
So you have one character per account. So I'm
One
guaranteeing
account
you that
per-
it's going to be like Genshin. You're going to have the way they're going to do it is gacha. You're going to have characters that you can swap between, just like you were able to.
Yeah,
in
but I
Genshin.
wonder if it's
I
not like
guarantee it.
you like because if you play, I mean, I think the MMO genre is actually ripe for the picking for gacha. You have a gacha game. You basically you pick you get one draw. You get your class. But then, like, if I want to play shaman, I gotta roll for fucking gacha shamans, and like, oh, I get this shaman now. I'm
God.
playing as that
You and
shaman.
your fucking wow.
Dude, I'm just saying, like, that's the only one I can reference that, like, it makes sense. I'm telling you, it's right for the picking, bro.
He's still playing WoW right now. That's why he keeps bringing it up.
Yeah, right now he keeps looking to the side.
I mean,
that's
I
what
need
he's
the
doing.
show to hurry up so I can get through this fucking Mythic Plus dungeon that I'm trying to.
But yeah,
do right
I mean,
now.
if it
Oh
comes
my
out
gosh.
like Genshin, I will play it. I'll give it a try. I gave Genshin a try. I gave Honkai Star Rail a try. I actually quite enjoyed the Honkai Star Rail. If it's anything
So you
like
tried
Honkai Star
Zenless?
Rail, I have tried Zenless. I actually didn't mind Zenless, but it kind of had that same situation of like I don't
fell off
really
hard.
like swapping between
Fair enough.
characters to do different damage types. But yeah, if it's anything like Genshin, I'll give it a try. I mean,
Yeah.
the worst
As
comes
far
to
as
worst, I don't
gachas
like
go
it.
too, and I didn't get like crazy end game in Genshin, but I got a decent amount. I feel like it was pretty forgiving with the gacha. It wasn't too like over egregious. Like I'm gonna steal all your money so you can
Yeah,
only get the
Genshin-
cool shit. They gave you
Genshin
like,
gives you a
know,
lot of
decent
free pulls.
pity rolls and yeah,
Yeah.
like it was alright, you know. So if it's
Yeah.
anything like that, like but it's
Granted,
10 cents.
that's Hoyoverse. That's what I was about to say. Granted, that's
Hoyoverse. This is
Hoyoverse, not 10 cent. Yeah.
So I was also gonna say like there's a very big chance that's not gonna be the case in this, in
Yeah.
this one. So
We'll see.
yeah.
Well, we've got about 30 minutes. Everybody get ready because
Rapid fire.
if you don't like Sony or don't like hearing the word Sony, you might want to pause the podcast for a little bit because it's gonna
Well,
be
if you don't like Sony, you might just want to stick around because
very Sony heavy.
We're going dog on 'em.
Probably true.
So Astrobot got,
Well,
hey, good shining moment for Sony. What a way to follow
surrounded by
that.
a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I don't think that little Astrobot's got enough tools in its pocket to fucking figure out how to get the shit out from what Sony's kind of doing with this. So first and foremost, we talked about Concord. Sony, not only did the game get canceled, okay, but now if you bought the fucking game and you still didn't request a refund, not that you could, I mean, I don't know why you would need it on your, why you would still want it on your account, but for what, but you still should, you own it, you shouldn't fucking lose it. They are literally removing it from people's fucking accounts.
Yep.
I know they're still
you're
being
surprised.
I'm not surprised, but I'm just saying, like, what the fuck, man?
This is why disc is superior, man.
I thought they were just like refunding it no matter what, removing it and refunding it. Are you saying you have to apply to refund it?
So I know for a fact on the PC version you had to apply to refund it. I'm
Okay.
not going to speak
I don't.
as to
I
whether or
don't
not
think.
you have
sure.
to.
I don't think the PlayStation. I think they were just giving out PlayStation refunds if you.
Yeah.
bought them on
I thought
PlayStation.
that was the case. I thought they were just
They're-
removing it and
they're-
refunding it.
They're forcing people into refunds.
They
Like
are.
they
that.
are.
So-
yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So
Which
either way, like,
I don't know.
that's bullshit.
I don't
It
know.
is,
I don't.
Welcome to the digital
Yes.
age, my guy. They can shut them down anytime they want to. They can take it away. They can remove it from your hard drive
I just
anytime they
I
want to.
think the
There's
silver
no way
lining
for
is
this
at
game to
least
survive.
they're giving you your money back. At least
There's-
like
Yeah.
I know
but,
they
Yeah,
have
but
like,
you
to.
should,
I
you
know-
should
I
be
know a lot
rewarding
of-
them for that. They made a failed game that didn't
Okay.
fucking do anything. You're like, hey, at least they gave you your money back. What?
Yes. Because then there's no loss. They failed. They lose money. You get your money
The
back.
Yeah,
thing-
but what about the people that wanted to play it?
The thing is, a lot of games like
They're
this,
not
they
going
go
to be able to play
defunct.
it. It's shut down. At least they got their
Well,
money back.
Yeah.
So a way a
It's-
lot of
it's
these
sad,
defunct
yes.
multiplayer games go is the game stays out, and then people that are passionate about the game can make community servers, like independent
Yeah.
community servers, and that
Right,
kind
but
of thing.
that's
That
definitely
is
not
the-
going to happen on PlayStation. That's not where
No,
that
but there's a
community
PC
servers
version
lives.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I don't know. Are they? But this is on PlayStation. I don't know if they are removing it on
They're
PC.
removing it totally. They're
Okay,
completely scrubbing the internet of this game.
Well, I
So,
mean,
The
private servers
Concord,
in
as
general.
you know it here, will never be played again. If you played Concord the way it was played here, you are in a very small minority that were the only ones to play Concord as they know it here. Whether that's
If
a
there
good thing or a bad
really
thing,
is a devoted community that wants to play it again, there is still files out there. Yes, it is illegal, but private servers are mostly illegal and bypass any sort of royal or whatever you call them rights and everything. So people, if they want to make a private server, they still will on PC. That's the case. I don't know. I'm just saying, at least they gave you your money back, because they definitely could have scammed a bunch of people losing this game or shutting this game down.
For clarification, if you purchase the game on PlayStation, you will get a full refund using the original payment method. If you had a gift card, people are claiming that you will not get that money back. That money will not is basically out the window, gone.
Now that's shitty.
That's they're not, again.
That's fucked.
Interesting.
There are people just reporting saying, "Hey, I purchased this via gift card or via whatever."
They should get credits or something. I don't know.
My money back.
We should just get another gift card.
Steam and Epic Game Store refunds are supposed to be automatic, but people are saying that is also not happening. And then physical copies of Concord you're supposed to go back to the retailer, and that places like Target and GameStop are
there's physical copies of Concord.
There is.
Yes.
People were scalping them on
$1,500
websites. Yeah. And
really?
I mean, at that point, if you're buying a physical copy, that is totally up to you whether you want to refund it or not.
That is wild. I didn't know there was a physical copy of it. I should have got that shit.
Yeah.
Well, you still can.
You still can.
I'm not paying $1,500 for it.
I'm sure that you could go to GameStop right now and find them somewhere in the trash.
For physical copies, Bill.
The fact that it's out there is all I care about. Like that makes me that gives me a little bit of a happy.
There was like bringing people. Somebody brought up to like they have their physical edition of Outriders too when that game came out.
Yeah, it's.
They're like,
I'm curious if it's just like an access key on the disc, or if it's actually got any of the game data on it.
I seriously doubt it has any game data. I
highly doubt it has any game data. It's just an access key.
But it'll be one of those things that, again, it will be lost to the sands of time. I would say, hey, go check your dumpsters at GameStop, go to Target, go to these stores and be like, hey, do you guys have a copy of Concord? I guarantee they'll hand you a fucking disc.
Look in like Russia. Remember they were not Russia.
Oh yeah,
it was with the
Germany
pierogies and Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to fly all the way to fucking Russia, go buy yourself some
buy some pierogies, baby.
And get Concord with it. Either way, they should not be taking games away from your. I don't give a fuck. Like, I think that it should not be an automatic. I think that you should have to go through a step process of returning it, and then it gets removed.
I agree.
It should not just be hey, this is no longer there, and oh, by the way, if we can, because you used a proper payment, we're gonna put the money back. But if you use gift cards or points, well, you may be fucked. Like, that's just a lot of like.
There's definitely some gray area with it. I agree. They shouldn't just take it away. I mean, that definitely shows you how much power they truly do have over, everything that
supposedly
buy and own. And that's the digital way.
That also shows you how badly they want this off the internet.
Yeah.
Well, the reason they want it off the internet is because they're going back to the drawing board with it. This isn't the last we're going to see of Concord. They will re-release it here. I would say probably in the next by 2026 there will be a re-release of Concord of some capacity. I almost guarantee it.
I doubt it.
I know what, honestly, that's a pretty good predicts.
There's no shot that they put more money into this game.
They are going to rework.
You think they're going to double down?
Re-release it.
They double down on this, Bill?
The fact that they shut it down so quickly makes me think that they double down on it.
Honestly,
if they were wanting to ride out the investment that they put into this, they would have made it free to play.
Honestly,
the fact that they didn't make it free to play, it shows me that they want to salvage something from this product and not just like leave it out there, because they could have very easily just left it out there, collected what money they had, cut the losses, call it a day, or make it free to play in a month or so and see what they could do, like MTX wise. They have bigger plans for this.
Yeah, I think Bill's kind of cooking right now, boys. Honestly, I think he might be onto something.
Look, if this game goes free to play, I'll buy it, and I'll buy the first fucking game pass. I'll buy the pass. I'll buy the battle pass. I'll buy the battle pass of the game.
Honestly, honestly, I could
if
see
this
the
game
play,
goes
man.
free
I
to play.
I see the vision there,
Or it comes
man.
back
I don't
out.
know.
No shot.
No,
That-
give
that's-
Bill this
that's
PP
my-
predicts. Give him this reward
By
when this trophy.
2026, I think we'll get a re-release of Concord.
I
in
love
some
it. I love
capacity.
this. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, on continuing on with the Sony train, right? So if you live under a rock, then you may not know, but the PlayStation 5 Pro has been in hot contention rumor mills for a while, and we've not heard a peep from Sony at all until the 7th. No, I'm sorry, until it launches on November 7th. It was the 9th? I think the 9th is when the 10th is when they announced this. They come out
Yeah.
and they finally talk about the PlayStation 5 Pro. By the way, this comes to us from Twisted Voxel. So motherfuckers, bro. So
It's
PlayStation
an interesting device.
interesting. It's a fucking kick to the nuts, dude. This is bullshit. It's
It's
first
an
off,
interesting device.
this is fucking garbage wrapped in a $700 price tag that literally they are taking a system and not even a half stepping it, in my opinion. Like this is like a meh, like a maybe. You know, like
I mean, pro consoles like throughout all of PlayStation's generations haven't been massive leaps forward.
I'm not saying they got to be next gen, but for fucking $700 goddamn dollars, it should be more than what I'm getting, and it also shouldn't remove a big piece of
To
the
have a
fucking
disk drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
big piece
The
of it.
Yeah.
remove and then
a fucking
upcharge
stand.
for it, and a plastic
Yeah.
stand.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the stand's completely optional, but the disk drive hurts. The fact that it's been relegated to accessory hardware is
Yeah, that's
it-
well,
it
that's what I
hurts
was
me.
about to say. It this is like, I don't think this is the first time it's happened, but this feels like a hardware microtransaction to me. Like they're like, hey,
It's not the first
we
time
know
it's
that you
happened 'cause
had it. It's not. Yeah, because I'm
No.
pretty sure the fucking
Slim.
Xbox and a couple of other ones in the past have had it. But
Xbox.
yeah.
to
Um,
do it, yeah.
The PlayStation 5 Slim had the disk drive as an
Did they?
optional thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
this just feels weird to me, though, man. I'm like,
Now,
you're gonna charge me $700 for less of a fucking product than if I just went out and bought the main one. Like, yeah, it's gonna have a more powerful fucking GPU and whatever the SSD is bullshit is, right? You're gonna have more storage.
it's got a more powerful GPU. And they're estimating it to be about 40% more powerful than what's the GPU that's in the current PS5. You're getting a 2 terabyte SSD that's supposedly going to have faster load times. You're getting it's going to have AI rendering technology for upscaling. And apparently the PS5 Pro is also going to have tech in it that is kind of similar to how emulation tech will allow you to up-res like old games. Like you can play like GameCube games at like 1080p or 4K and like shit like that. It's going to have similar technology in it to allow you to play PS4 and PS5 games that weren't natively at those higher resolutions like 1440p or 4K at those resolutions.
So
Supposedly, they're in it's select games. They said that there's a number that they gave, and I can't remember what it was.
Like 1800
So it's not-
games or
Yeah,
something like that.
1800 games that
Since it's
are
still a select game, or a select game, it's not going to stop them from making just next gen title, like next gen.
correct. Yeah, we're
quality
still going to
titles.
get our
We're
Last of
still
Us
gonna get the-
PS5 Pro version. Yeah.
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 Jeez. Yeah.
So here's the kicker, right? So we knocked, Bill specifically, I have joined the train as well. Has always knocked the Xbox Series S, right? Because it has
It's held
And-
back the Xbox generation and the third party.
so
market.
it is the shit stain of the game development world when it comes to consoles. And has put an anchor around a lot of game development next when they're developing for both. Here's my thing. Not saying that the PlayStation 5 is now going to become that anchor, but what it does do is basically going, hey, you have to use and develop for the PlayStation 5 Pro to get these features out of it, which
Not necessarily.
well,
And I think that's where that AI upscaling
okay,
tech has it, where developers can develop for the current gen, like the standard PS5, Xbox Series X, that kind of stuff. And then Sony on a software front is going to allow it to be upscaled via the hardware.
This is where I call bullshit on it, because DLSS and their shit has been in on computers forever, and they still haven't gotten that crap to work. Like, it still is a buggy piece of shit. A lot of times it's worse, and most times if you have a good enough rig, you just fucking use it with no upscaling at all, because it actually makes your gameplay laggier. It doesn't look as good. It's really not that great, right? So I'm sorry.
I agree with you there. The only thing that I can think of is the more stable like hardware inside being a differentiator and making this more able to function. My biggest concern is the lack of them saying anything about a CPU upgrade.
Well, I mean, on top of all of this, right? You're now talking about $700, which let's break this down, right? Which I have the list here, which you guys know I love my list. So here's the key features of the fucking Pro, right? So upgraded GPU. All right, you can't natively do that anyway, whatever. Is it going to really get used? Probably, honest to God, not, right? Advanced ray tracing. Sure, maybe they put in ray tracing. The stuff that they put in on PCs allows you to turn the ray tracing on. They can put it into the game.
There's already ray tracing, but I think it's such a massive performance hit that I know any game that has ray tracing enabled that I've played, I turn that shit off, because it
most people turn it off, period, anyway.
Yeah,
I do that on PC as well.
It doesn't really matter. So that becomes negligible. We just talked about the AI upscaling, right? Let's talk about the fucking SSD. You can go right. The thing about PlayStations and about the current gen consoles is they have already touted that you can take those fuckers apart and put in an SSD. Corsair sells a goddamn SSD that you can throw in there that literally,
or even an external SSD.
Yeah, or an external. They run faster, they load faster, and it's not going to cost you fucking an additional $500 or $200 or $300 depending on the system that you got, right? The VRR 8K gaming. I am so sick and tired of hearing about variable refresh rate and 8K upscaling bullshit. None of it is actually fucking factually true. Like, you have to go in and do so much adjusting. Like, yeah, you could turn on 8K gaming, but one, the developer has to dev for it. And two, if it actually you turn it on, you are sacrificing so much GPU power to run it that it plays like dog shit. You might as well be playing at 15 frames a second or 30 frames. And all these people are going to come out and be like, well, 30 frames a second is fucking absolutely completely fine. Go play some of your modern shooters or modern games that require fast reaction time and let me know if 30 frames actually works for you, because I promise you it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't, unless you're the Dark Souls people that really love 30 frames, and when they move to 60 frames it caused iframe problems and some hit detect like that.
30 frames gives me motion sickness, gives me headaches.
Doesn't work. So then
an 8K gaming is a scam.
Yeah, and then you tack on top of all of that, oh, we're now not going to give you a fucking disk drive. Like, you don't even get the choice of a disk drive. You're not getting one.
You get the choice.
You got to pay for
it. $80 on top of it.
But comparative to the last one, there was a Slim that had none, and then there was an actual, the Full that had one, right?
The Full that had one,
This is just the Pro that has none with the option to buy an add-on.
You could buy one for the Slim too. It's the same disk drive.
No, I know. What I'm saying is you had the option of a full PS5.
I also like how they advertise it in vertical mode and then have it in little letters, vertical stand sold separately.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Here's what I love.
Last time too, they did the same thing.
After taxes, you're paying $250 per fucking stripe right here. I just want to point that out. Yeah. They added stripes, guys. The $700, they gave you 3 stripes instead of the one. Just saying.
Dude,
you know the only reason they did that, right? The only reason they did that is so that you can't use PS5 like custom plates on the Pro.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me.
It's not. I would not put it past them. They're gonna say it's for airflow, but I guarantee it's that you can't use your custom plates on the Pro.
I was watching a meme the other day of a dude that was like, I don't need to pay fucking $200 extra, and then he took out some fucking electrical tape and just put 2 electrical tapes on it.
Yeah. Well, here's the crazy thing. People are saying that the game is going to, nope, that is not the one I was looking for. Well, we can talk about this, but the game that the PS5 Pro is going to sell at the same level of PS4 Pro. I think that is a wild fucking statement.
I don't.
Dude, the
don't,
PS4
yeah.
Pro launched at $399. Like,
so I don't know if you've seen, but after the PS5 Pro announcement, PlayStation Direct sold out of disk drives. So if that's
Oh.
any clue
Yeah.
that there is
Really?
a
Okay.
market that is preparing for when the PS5 Pro
Or-
comes out.
let me conspiracy theory this shit, right? Or they are either A, they actually marked them as not available, right? So Sony actually said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna drive hype, and or drive hype, or whatever you want to say, and they're gonna
Man, since bringing that fucking tinfoil hat tonight,
they're
man.
going."
Yeah,
But here's what I actually think is
that's
happening. I think the
extreme.
more realistic thing is that people are actually buying the shit out of them to scalp
To
the
scalp
fuck
them.
out of them.
Yeah.
To
When
scalp
people,
it,
yeah,
maybe.
I think
Yeah,
that's the more realistic approach. Is that people are going
Let's-
to sell the shit out of those things whenever people buy these.
Let's
Because
see.
they sold out.
How much did the PlayStation 4 originally cost?
The PlayStation 4 or
original
PlayStation 4
PlayStation
Pro?
4?
Like the original PlayStation 4, not the Pro, but the original PlayStation 4. Was it 200?
No,
No.
it was 400. I'm pretty sure 399.
Was it 400?
Yeah.
So the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro were the same price
the-
when they released.
Yes. So
Yeah,
That's
whenever
crazy.
the
Yeah.
Pro launched, it launched with the standard PS4 getting a price
That's
cut.
crazy, bro.
Yes.
That's crazy.
this
now,
one,
now, if you want to get really crazy, the PS3 was where you had the last like wild price jumps. The PS3 I think launched at $600, and then
Now-
the Pro was I think it was also $600.
Now I do remember reading that they in reply to people being like, "Hey, this is way too expensive," they then went out and were like, "Well, we'll drop the price of refurbished PlayStation 5s, the original or PlayStation 4s or 5, yeah, 5. We'll drop the price of the refurbished ones down to like $399 or something."
Yeah.
And so this was an interesting list. There's some things wrong with it though too, but Jeff Keighley did tweet out a list of the inflation.
Of course he did.
Inflation
Of course
adjusted
Keighley did.
prices. Of course he did. I know. And what's wrong with this is, so it's in our chat right here. But so they're going through all of the years of the inflation adjusted launch prices of the PlayStations, and the PlayStation 3 was the highest on the list at $778 inflated
The
adjusted
PS3
price.
was ridiculous. That's why it was
Yes.
the worst generation that
Wait,
they
is-
came out
wait,
with.
you said
but now,
is that-
but he put the PS5 Pro in there, but he did not include the disc drive. So he did the $700
Yeah.
price point without the.
Of course he didn't.
Technically, yeah, of course he didn't, right? So he of course. That's a $780 price point for a PlayStation Pro for the
Do you have
full
a link to
package.
his
So,
tweet?
I
yeah,
did the
I do
the
right
math
here.
too.
And here it
for
is.
me,
It's like
and-
it's like 830,
Put it in the
right?
put it in the show notes.
it's 830 something. I think it's like 836.
I thought you had that open. Hold on.
Of course
it's
he
up-
did though. Let's like it's Jeff Keighley,
It's at
man.
the top,
like,
Sin.
that man will champion PlayStation
yeah.
till the end of his fucking days, bro.
Bro, I know. Seriously, dude.
Uh,
There's even a note at the bottom saying, "Yeah, well, you didn't add in the."
well, yeah, he
disk
got
drive.
he got communities noted, didn't
Community
he?
noted.
On
Yeah, he
Twitter,
did.
and on top of that, he got community noted for it, and then he reposted it to get rid of the community.
I love one of the
Oh, it's there- it's
post
there
replies
again.
here is that hey buddy, the PS3 had a PS1, a PS2, a DVD player,
Yeah.
a Blu-ray player, and a PS3 all in one. Go fuck yourself. I'm like,
Yes.
I mean,
That's
not
hilarious.
wrong. Not wrong. That was the PS3 was the last generation that had full hardware backwards compatibility.
Yep.
It's crazy, man.
I don't know. This is I don't, and the fact that like this is the narrative that is coming out right now around this is that the PS5 Pro at $700 is because of a lack of competition that made it easier
Well-
for an easier decision for Sony to run with. a
I
higher
mean,
Yeah, so-
it's not entirely wrong though.
It's not entirely wrong. It isn't, but at the same time, and this isn't from official sources. This is from some random guy, right? I think we.
I mean, it's on
dictated that.
IGN. At
It's
this
from it's from a
It's from like a what's called a
it's a gaming
An
well,
insider.
yeah.
no
I don't know.
They
point, talking about
It
Ampere.
was an analyst.
analyst. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
okay.
Yeah, So it's coming. It's not coming from like the source in general, but
I'm
like he isn't
not
wrong.
saying-
He
but
isn't
it's
wrong.
still-
I'm not stating that he's not wrong. Like if Xbox had been doing better, they would have had competition. But at the same time, that's a wild statement to be like. The reason why the PlayStation 5 Pro is so expensive is because of Xbox.
You know what?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Here- we don't talk about politics. We don't talk about the state of the world or whatever else, pretty much at all. But here's what I'll say: like right now, I don't care who you are. The state of the fucking economy across the entire world is fucking through the roof. And to have, I don't give a damn whether you're an analyst or whatever else. To come out with a brain dead, fucking ignorant ass comment that states that basically puts the blame on essentially the consumer, because what you're saying, like, yeah, I get it, saying the lack of competition, which is again the sure, Microsoft, you're playing with Microsoft, but at the end of the day, you're also saying, hey, if you guys would go out and buy more fucking Xboxes or buy more more other systems, then it would drive the competition for these companies to do. Go fuck yourself, man. Like, go absolutely tone deaf fuck yourself, because this is ridiculous to sit here and say, like, hey, to try to warrant this price point at any level is asinine for what they did. Like, they should be raking Sony over the fucking coals for this. And
They're not going to.
And I just am blown away that this is kind of like a, and I'm not
I think
saying
the only reason that they're not is because this is the accessory console. This is like the middle ground console generation console. If this was the PS6 launching at this kind of a price point,
yeah, but you can't tell me that this releasing, the PlayStation 5 Pro releasing at $700 or $699, right? You can't tell me that the PlayStation 6 isn't going to mimic that price tag.
I don't think it will.
If this is successful,
I don't know.
I bet it.
I don't think it will, simply because they had that learning lesson with
I mean,
PS3 generation.
I mean, look at the PS5, the PS4 to the PS5. The PS4 Pro was 522. The PS5 was 606.
Where are you seeing that?
That's the inflation.
That's Jeff Keighley's tweet.
That's
Is that inflation
that's
due to?
inflation
Is that
adjusted,
inflation
yeah.
right now? Okay.
That's,
That's
not
current
know
inflation
that.
adjusted.
Either way, the PS5, the PS4
I don't think
was
it will.
was $499. Well, look, the PS5 was $399. The PS4 was $399. The PS4 Pro was $399. The PS5 was $500. Right? Like that was that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like, it ain't going down. Like,
I don't think it'll go down, but I don't think they're gonna.
They're going to charge.
I don't think
the same
700 is going to be the new standard for console, and I could be
I
wrong
don't know,
moving forward
man.
with it. But I feel like after the $600 PS3 generation, they realized, oh shit, we can't mainline launch a new generation of console at that price point. To be perfectly honest with you,
sorry, you don't think that them having no competition, again, it's been stated right there. Granted, it's not PlayStation saying
well,
it,
no
but
competition.
them
as
having
in
no
there's-
competition, and we already know that Xbox has no intention of moving forward in the console war, right? So really, the only people that PlayStation is going up against is what? Nintendo. And Nintendo doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Nintendo doesn't give a fuck. They do their own thing, right? They're on their own side.
It'll just be both of them doing their own thing.
You don't think that X or the Sony is just going to be like, oh, we can charge whatever the fuck we want to. People will buy it.
Well,
I think to a point,
feel-
but yeah, no.
I feel like you're also like Xbox isn't out of the console manufacturing. There's going to be another Xbox next.
I didn't say they were out of the. They've already stated that they're out of the console war, though. They don't care about the consoles. They really don't give a shit. If it makes them money,
but they
that's
still
fine.
need to push the hardware that's going to be able to play third-party games, and that's the biggest thing.
Not really, because they're pushing the ability to play their games on anything. So like, yeah,
Right.
they will have hardware, but they're not going to push it as hard as they have.
They haven't stated that they're not coming out with another console in the next generation, though, have they?
I never said that. Yeah.
No, I know. I'm asking. I don't think they have. So
No.
to be
All
fair,
I'm
they're
trying
not
to say is if
totally out. Yeah.
If the tech's not able to play third-party games, they're going to get passed up like they're currently getting passed up with this console generation on third-party games.
Right, with the Xbox
Is all I was
Series
trying
S.
to say.
Yeah.
Well, I think
I'm not arguing about that. Yeah.
Well, look,
As far as competition goes, they don't have competition currently because Xbox hasn't released a middle generation console alongside it like they usually do.
And I don't think they intend to. That's
And
the
they don't
biggest thing.
intend to. But during the next console jump, the next generation jump, PlayStation will have direct competition, most likely from Xbox, with that again. Therefore, I can't see them
We'll see.
pushing this price point.
Do you think Xbox will then jump price hike up as well, or you don't?
I
To
don't
match Sony, or
I
do you
don't
think
know.
they'll both?
I would say
Xbox,
old
stay
Xbox
on
and
700?
Sony both look across the aisle, see what the other can get away with, and then kind of mimic it.
Yeah,
So
I mean, old Xbox, I would say no. Current Xbox, I would say fuck. I don't even know if maybe they're like 700. Fuck
Yeah.
it, make it 800. Like
maybe.
I don't. You know,
It's
and
really dicey
to be
right now.
to be completely honest, I'm not entirely sure about that either, because Xbox hasn't fully integrated the new $70 price tag for their games, and that's been out for a long time. So I don't know about that. I'm not entirely sure.
They have.
Not across.
They're not
the board,
doing it
they
as
haven't.
consistently as what Sony is,
That's
but
that's what I
they
said.
are.
Not across the board.
First party or
I mean,
third party
Sony's
Xbox
not doing
titles?
it across the board either. They just released Astrobot at $60.
I mean, if they would have released Astrobot at 70, I don't know. Okay.
It's still not across the board.
True,
it's a pick and choose
true.
type thing
It
with
is.
both consoles. Sony just tends to push the $70 more often, but they're still doing it.
We can squash all this at $700 fucking dollars for about, and let's add in the goddamn disk drive, right? Let's just add the disk drive into it.
So 836.
So $836 with tax. Let's call it a cool.
No,
almost,
that's with tax.
Oh, that's with tax. Is 836?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So US based $836, right? I'm gonna tell
For
you
where
right
I
now.
live, yes.
I'm gonna tell you
Correct, yeah.
right now, for that, you're about $50 to maybe $100 shy of me building
Like
you
200.
a PC rig that can do everything that system does and more. And it's not going to cost you to fucking have PlayStation Game Pass Plus, whatever the fuck.
Except PlayStation
peripherals
console
and shit, but yeah.
exclusives. You're not gonna be able to do that.
I mean, how many the exclusives are coming to PC? Like, come on, like let's
Slowly.
call it
Sure.
what it is. Like, I'm just
Slowly.
saying, are you going to
Slowly, yeah.
Sure. And this is marketed. This can't, like, I heard this directly come. Well, okay, I heard this from one of the podcasts that I listened to, who quoted one of the Sony team saying that our target is not new PlayStation owners. It is the people that already own PlayStation that are going to go and trade this in and get the newest edition, right?
Right.
That was Mike Ybarra that said that. That was fucking.
Well,
that was
this is
the
he didn't quote
ex-CEO.
Mike Ybarra. He was quoting somebody from inside of PlayStation. Why would you ever need to do that with this rig? I don't know. Please don't encourage this fucking behavior.
It's because it's a luxury item. It's the same reason that they charge $200 for the handheld remote play device.
Oh yeah.
It's a luxury item.
I fucking hate that. There was a dude on Twitter today that was this is a luxury item. So if you're not capable and or want to buy the luxury item, this is not for you. I was like, that is the worst fucking argument in the world.
I mean, yeah, I'm with you that it's not a good argument, but it's the reality of the situation. It is a luxury item. If you don't want it, or like whatever the reason is, that's fine. I don't fucking want it, so I'm not going to end up getting it. I'm fine with my standard PS5 at whatever I bought it for.
You're getting a better deal with your standard PS5.
Until the next gen consoles come out at the same price, then that argument I think is to be made.
I've never bought a pro generation for PlayStation. I've bought PlayStation since the PS4.
Half steps are fucking worth it. Period.
No, I personally don't feel like the half steps are worth it. And most developers, unless it's a first party Sony title, aren't going to be developing with the
pro in mind or anything like that.
Which is why they added the AI upscaler, because it's a band-aid fix to make the games function at the console's capacity is the only thing I can think of with it. So
yeah.
It's a luxury item. It's a shitty luxury item, just like the handheld was. So
well, look, all of this,
if you have the disposable income, I guess,
is a dystopian fucking greed infested shitbag world that we're all fucking headed down toward. But hey, you know what? Game industry layoffs aren't due to greed at all. At least that's what the ex-Sony president said. No, right? Wasn't it an ex-Sony president that said this?
Yeah,
it was
ex-Sony president.
ex-Sony press. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't their previous one. It wasn't what's his name?
Jimmy
Rye guy.
Jimmy Rye.
Jimmy
No,
Rye.
It was an ex-president. Yeah.
So And then on top of that, you should just drive an Uber.
Yeah, just drive an Uber. Drive an Uber, or
Oh,
find a different
please.
job for until, or no, it was drive an Uber or go to the beach until things settle down.
Wow.
God, dude, the just absolute ignorance.
There's a reason this
and-
person's not in the industry anymore, right?
Right? There's
Fucking-
a reason why this guy's ex president.
No. Is this person in fact not in the industry? Do we know for a fact that this person has no say in how a company is being run inside
He's probably-
really
he's
any
probably got
industry? It
ties
shouldn't even just be
somewhere.
the gaming industry, but I bet motherfucking dime to donuts that this dude is somewhere working in one, the gaming
Like the
industry, and
background.
two, somewhere at an industry
Yeah.
period, who he should not be at all. Like again, the tone deafness that these people and the fucking balls,
Yeah.
the balls that
No, you
these
continue.
people have to go out and say statements like this when these people constantly fucking lay people off, lay devs off, lay QA, and still get cut bonus checks and fucking sit in their multi-million-dollar homes and drive their fucking cars and all this other kind of bullshit, while everybody else gets slaughtered so that they can get fat and happy, and then has the audacity to come out and make a statement like this. Go fuck yourself with your $700 system and fucking shove the $80 or however much it is for the fucking disk drive down your throat. At the same time, choke on it, assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Deering, I think is his name. Yeah.
Anybody else got anything to say about this
Nah.
dickhead statement?
summed
I
it
mean,
up. You got it.
yeah, you got it. I think.
We're on the floor with it.
That's,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's yeah.
Well, on top of that, then you guys, Microsoft over here saying, "Hey, shh, don't talk about layoffs. Just try not talk about them. We're gonna fire people.
Don't
We're not
talk
gonna
about
say
anything today.
yeah, just shh, don't do it. Don't do it. Right? Because the newest round of layoffs just killed off 650 employees. As an FYI. So.
It's so sad.
And this is
It's-
Xbox specifically, right?
This
Not
was
just
Xbox.
like
No,
over
this is
Microsoft.
This is Microsoft, the newest round of
This
Microsoft
was
layoffs.
this was Microsoft. Yeah, this was
Yeah.
Microsoft, and they're laying off a bunch of support staff from I believe
bunch
it
of
was
different-
Activision and Blizzard. Was the
Yeah.
most was for the most part was Activision Blizzard, but it was support staff, so it wasn't any like game devs or anything like that. I also will point out, and I'm not defending this at all. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter that are like fuck what's his name? The
Spencer?
fucking president of X. Yeah,
Phil
they're like, fuck
Spencer?
Phil Spencer for this. Fuck Phil Spencer. This is not Phil Spencer. This is Xbox, or this is Microsoft. This is coming straight from Microsoft. This is not Phil Spencer being like,
Whoa.
yeah, fuck these guys. Fuck
yeah,
these guys. This
I
is
get it.
Microsoft itself telling him to get rid of people.
Yeah. So here's the kicker, though. If you're gonna be CEO, right? You're a figurehead,
Yeah,
just
no.
like anybody else. And on top of that, if you're gonna be out there being like, I love gaming, and we're an inclusive place, and we're gonna make sure that you're taken care of, and that you got a place to be, and we're not gonna we're gonna make sure that everyone is loved, and blah blah. And then you turn, and then this shit happens. I'm sorry, man.
Mhm.
Like, as a big staunch Phil Boy supporter, I love that man. I fucking called him the God's gift to gaming. I am eating every fucking word that I am
Yeah.
doing because of this. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm not saying it's Phil's fault, but fuck him too. He didn't go out there and be like, hey, I'll take a pay cut, keep these people on. Right?
Well, especially after this statement too, that really solidifies it. I mean, this does come from Xbox, so this does come from Phil
This comes
Spencer,
from
and
Microsoft.
this says Xbox has reported.
Xbox has
been told
reportedly
to.
been told to go dark. This is
Oh,
from
I thought they were saying
Microsoft
they
telling
told their
Xbox
staff
to be
to go
quiet.
dark.
No,
Okay,
this is
okay.
they did. Xbox told their fucking social media to stop posting things
Microsoft told
on
Xbox
behalf
to
of
tell their
Microsoft.
staff.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, no, I misread.
My biggest issue with it is this is all from acquisitioned sources.
$69
too, from what
billion.
it's seeming like.
Like I said,
we
I
bought
am not
you,
defending
and now we're
this.
firing you because after we
Right.
bought you.
Yeah. This is the most amount of not understanding where your money's at, not understanding fucking finances, mismanaging your fucking bottom line, and looking at somebody going and not having the right hand talk to the left hand. And somebody went out there, and I don't even know how the fuck this is even in a court case that lasted fucking years and was in the federal eye, right? You don't know that $69 billion is being spent. Somebody somewhere down the line goes, what the fuck is this? Right. And then they got stiff with the check, and they're going, well, the only way to pay for this is with those people's jobs. Right.
I was about to say, yeah, you're job went to Bobby Kotick as his severance.
Right. Nobody fucking anywhere decided to maybe sit down and have a goddamn plan. I have a concept of a plan. When I have a plan, I'll and it's good. We'll make it. I have a concept of a plan. Fuck you, man. Fuck all this, dude. Like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, it's fucking wild. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna end on a good note. Then we're gonna go to quick hits because we're already over time. But hey, you know what? Big win for the SAG, right? The union secures AI protections with multiple studios, including ARC and Dev. Is good, right? I'm not missing.
Yeah,
right?
this is great.
I want to make sure
That's what they were
like I'm
fighting
reading
for.
this right. Right.
This is all AI protection that they're
Yeah.
arguing for. They don't want their jobs replaced with AI. They don't want their voices being used in AI projects without their consent or without it being expressly like said in their contracts that we have the right to use your voice for this character in this capacity. So this is all good. They're all getting a little bit more job security from the inevitable AI takeover.
Thank
Yeah.
God,
this
there's some
is
goodness
here,
somewhere.
and it's going more and more.
Maybe AI could have
So.
saved Concord. I don't know. Just kidding.
I think
No,
AI
we-
made
I
Concord.
highly doubt that. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that
Yeah.
AI was featured very heavily with Concord.
Well, I don't even know if you can have credit
That's
rolls with the
funny.
credit roll. It just says ChatGPT.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up all of the news and it gets us into the very quick hit section, which is again articles and news that we wanted to at least mention, but not necessarily go in depth talking about. Enigma, I'm looking at you. All right. So the last episode we talked about quick hits and you fucking rambled on.
What?
Anyway,
you literally just spent 15 minutes
see,
fucking
you're
bitching
already-
about
you're already-
Sony.
You're already doing it. Shut up. Steam introduced family sharing. This is taking place of the old game share thing that they had basically.
Yes, I actually think this is really a neat feature.
Yeah, no,
and I wanted
it's
to,
dope.
I wanted to talk about
No,
it a little bit.
I will mute you.
I did actually want to
Uh,
talk more about it, but
Well,
yeah,
we
we'll
can
do
talk about it
quick
next
hits, I
week
guess.
then. But Sony
Oh my
patent
gosh.
is out there supposedly for a new VR headset and possibly a new Vita, which we called that one. You have got Rockstar offering small 7.5K for lifetime royalties to artists. Music is told to fuck who when you guys write these, I swear to God, can you write them in English?
So they offered 7.5K to a band to have their song in GTA 6. No royalties included, so just a full buyout, and the band told them go fuck themselves.
Oh yeah, good on them. That's chump change for a music and
Especially
AAA
for-
title like that.
Yeah,
For
especially for
Rockstar,
GTA
yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
But
CC
exposure. We're picking you with
CCP
exposure.
Games unveils a new survival game set in the Eve universe. So interesting conversation there. You can go take a look at
That
Roblox.
we won't have.
We're not
we
going to
won't
have.
that
It's not actually an interesting conversation. They really didn't announce it. All they did was just announce it. They just said, "Hey, there's a game coming out that we're setting in the fucking Eve universe." There'll be talks later on about it.
Okay.
I mean, we could talk. You want to talk about all these? Fuck it. 12:43. We'll make this a 4.5 hour podcast. Let's go. I don't give a shit. All right. Roblox game development with a 70%
All right, bet.
cut
Let's
for
go.
devs.
Let's go. Fucking let's talk about it. Let's go. Bet.
Pal
I'm
World's
calling
coming
you
to
out, bro.
Oh my
Pal
God.
World's coming to PS5 after more
What
than
was
a
that
decade.
about Roblox?
God damn it. All right, that's it. All of these
No,
articles.
keep going. Keep going.
No,
It's
we're
quick.
done. We're done.
4
I'm done.
hours, bro.
We're done.
Come on, man.
I'm
Come
done.
on, man.
I'm done. I'm done.
You love
Y'all
your
have a
lists.
wonderful show, a wonderful
Oh.
rest of the week for the pre-patch podcast, episode 136. We're out. Go check us out on all of our YouTube channels, on Discord. You can hit us up on Facebook if you're
Hey,
a
we've
boomer.
only
you
got
can
one
go
YouTube
over-
channel
you
though
can-
for the
what?
podcast. Like,
Okay, YouTube. Well, we all have YouTube channels. You can go check one of our YouTube channels out if you would like. Or you can
All
get
right,
us on
let's
Twitter.
wrap
Oh my
this
God, that's
up.
it. I am
All right.
fucking done. We'll see you guys next week. Get the fuck out of here. I can't deal with this shit anymore. This is
Jesus.
fucking bullshit. And I don't even, is the music playing? Yes. I don't even know if that's the right fucking music. You guys got me all fucked up.